Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Welcome to 50 Shades of Guy, a podcast about bondage.
You want an Advil? We have Advils.
I really could use one after this.
Yeah?
It took me 4 hours to watch this movie.
Wow.
It was 2 hours and 11 minutes, but it took me 4 hours of stopping and writing bullshit down, and that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't that what... How long did it take you to watch this?
I have so many notes. I sat and watched in real time. I had, yeah, we're showing each other our notes for the podcast.
It's astounding.
Okay.
Right?
So we were scared that we weren't going to have anything to talk about.
Absolutely not going to be a problem.
Yes.
Right? Not even a little bit.
I would argue it's still not a full movie here.
Well, she says, so I watched a featurette, and I don't want to get all knowledge guy on this movie because I don't want to know stuff.
Sure.
But she did say that the first and second movie are basically two halves of a story. As in, that's how they were intentionally written in her mind.
You know what would have been cool?
If they'd made it one movie. Right?
Yes, or if something happened.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah, we'll go through the plot, so I don't want to point stuff
Nothing
out. Except
happens.
to say, I do need to jump to the very end and point out a big part of this movie is that he is a Chronicles of Riddick fan.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
I was like, why is that there?
Well, it explains everything. More than the stuff with his mom. Which...
Yeah, the stuff with his mom's also weird.
Yeah, this movie, nothing happens for the first hour.
But then a bunch of things I think are happening off screen that are extremely important.
Yes, and then a bunch of things happen, but they don't connect or really amount to anything.
Not really. I'm still waiting for the big Jose moment.
Yes.
I don't think we've had it yet.
Well, I think we're going to get an alliance of all the lovers. It's all right, so...
That's fair.
What's her name? Who plays the Mrs. Robinson?
Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger.
Yeah, who plays Elena.
She's the Voldemort of this.
I totally agree. In fact, I think the end of this movie is they made a sex Joker.
Yes.
That's what I think happened. They made a sex Joker.
But there's
they threw,
other...
water in her face and slapped her and kicked her out. It's like, you just made yourself
a sex
real
Joker,
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there also feels like there's a Professor Snape in there and
completely.
Yeah.
I think it's possible everybody who's crossed Christian Grey is dead at the end of the next movie.
I hope.
I really think that's possible.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are already dead.
Maybe.
I think there's a bunch of people that are dead right now. You're just not thinking about it. They're definitely dead.
Yeah.
So do you want to get started?
I guess. I have so much to say about...
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to go through it.
Can I say one thing up top?
Yeah.
I thought this was better than the first one.
Well, do you know who directed it?
I saw the name, but I blotted it out in my brain.
This is the director of Glengarry Glen Ross.
My God.
Yep.
Really?
And Perfect Stranger with Halle Berry and Bruce Willis, a bad movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, new director. It's very much, they did this with Twilight too. Is they start and they're like, okay, let's get
clearly
someone...
better. Yeah, he's clearly better. Now, do you know who wrote this?
No.
The husband of the author of the book.
Oh, okay. So she's still got her grubby little fingers in there.
He literally, there's a story on the behind the scenes featurette. Yes, I am reading the behind the scenes featurette this time. Where he's like, I wrote the first draft and I was so glad that she read it and laughed once. Because that meant I was off the hook. I was like, my God, how does this woman have such control over this? It's unreal.
Well, she's the Dom of the movie.
Clearly.
Yeah.
But you need to see her talk, by the way. The Orwellian seriousness with which she takes this project is astounding, Dave. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So immediately Universal logo straight to domestic abuse nightmare.
Domestic abuse. juice.
It's like ba 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 ba, and then like cigarette burns. Right. And it's like Jesus Christ.
And it's like, is this the connection I want to make to start my erotic journey?
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's less gray. The film is less gray.
There's colors in it. Yes, there's finally colors in it, right? You know, cute.
Yep. And we meet I feel like my brain has protected me from Anastasia Steele. We meet Anastasia Steele again. Yeah, like that's one of those names where I'm like, what's her name again? It can't be that.
I'm sorry, Dave. You've already gotten ahead of a few things I wanted to say.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Dave.
Okay.
The first one is that the close-up of the rose petals was some real serial killer shit.
Yes, and I'm not sure what that means this time around.
Either,
the clouds made sense.
It felt like Seven. It felt like I was watching Seven, but for roses.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the notebook full of fucking Christian Grey scrawlings? Where is that shit? Right?
I guess, okay, so here's what that means. It's a flower.
Yeah.
And we're getting, the petals are unfolding, so we're seeing more of this character. It could have been an onion. Yeah. We could have like peeled an onion slowly.
Can you imagine if it was actually an onion and it was blooming like in a pot or something? How that fucking obvious that'd be. I think they could be more amazing for comedy effect. Honestly, you're gonna think I'm being an asshole. This movie could have been a great comedy.
Yeah, well,
it could have been a great comedy.
I laughed out loud once, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she has a cool and hip and respectful boss now who brings her tea and wants to plow her.
Okay, but he's for all of the movie until the very part of the movie where he relentlessly harasses her.
Yes.
He's in a recognizable space, like human space, where he likes her, but he's professional.
Yes, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's the moment he finds out she has a boyfriend.
That makes him angry.
Yeah.
But
he's the nice guy, the quote-unquote nice guy.
Yes, he is.
The idea. The movie does everything in its power to gaslight us into thinking Christian Grey is a good guy. Like, it keeps...
I don't think... I would say this is a tragic tale of a woman not seeing red flags.
Yes.
I think that might be what the story is. I know it isn't. But
you mean like that's their intent?
How could they possibly think a reasonable audience?
I think this is sex Harry Potter. I think it's sex Batman. I think
that makes way more sense than this movie does. Way more sense.
Wait, what does?
Like the way the main character responds to the events that they're encountering make more sense. You know?
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. I think because they do this thing where they're like, and I realized they did this in the previous one with Jose, who's back.
Yeah, thank God. Finally got some Jose time.
Where they're like, Christian Grey, like he seems really dark, but look at these clowns. And they do that in more than one way, but in this it's like the boss doesn't really matter except to be worse by comparison to Christian Grey.
Which I would argue he isn't. I mean, he in that one moment he is, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say on the whole...
No, he's passive-aggressive Christian Grey.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say Christian Grey will do everything this man did.
Yeah.
And like he's going to do everything this man did at some point in the near future with Anastasia Steele.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Just we all agree on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know if the movie agrees on that. I think we agree on that.
I don't know. I can't tell what tone the movie takes on Christian Grey. Like, I don't know. I legitimately don't understand what the movie thinks he is.
Yes, because there's some reveals in this that are like, you walk out the door when you hear that.
Of course. Anybody would.
Yeah.
Like, anybody would.
But I think it's, again, that it's an unreliable narrator where it's the people making this are like, that's not incredibly fucked up, right? Or they must know it's fucked up, but it's like...
I don't know.
It's deal breaker level, where it's it would end the movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This movie is a snake eating its tail many times over.
Yes.
Like, this snake's inside out and back inside, right side out.
Yeah.
Briefly, the moment I knew I was already furious with this movie is that the first song, again, was a cover of a thing we did not need. It was that Coldplay song that they needed a softer rock version of a fucking Coldplay song.
Oh, God.
Just play the Coldplay song.
Just play the Coldplay song.
What are you doing?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
I don't understand it. Briefly, before we even get to where Christian Grey is, just the opening montage. She gets flowers from Christian Grey, right? This big giant vase of flowers. She walks around the table with it and opens this trash can, which this vase will never fit in. Will never fit in.
But she's going to try.
And I was like, she understands that it won't fit in, right? And
right.
And she doesn't. It doesn't seem like she did. It didn't seem like she understands how space works, man.
In her new, is that a new apartment? Because it's
know.
another. It's another little thing where it's exposed brick again, and then I just noticed it just has concrete pillars throughout it.
Yeah, it's a multi-million-dollar condo is what it is.
She is not. It's the same problem from the first one. She doesn't need anything.
Mm-hmm.
She is fine to the point that he later gives her $24,000, and she's like, "Ugh, I don't want that." And it's like, I do. Can you mail me it? The money movie? Like, I'll take it. Jesus fucking Christ.
There are a number of times that in this movie that people should have gotten more money out of Christian Grey. And just didn't. And you're like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah. And it's again, like, if it's not for his money, what is it for?
Yeah. What is the thing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand.
So the roommate's still fucking the blonde dude, right? The brother? Is that what I saw?
For, I guess, 2 months.
Yeah. They're like advanced fucking now. They're on the beach and
on
stuff.
vacation fucking. Yeah. For 2 months, it seems.
Yeah. She sits on the bench and looks sad. She takes the bus and looks sad. We're still in the credits. We're still in the credits. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, good. I'm glad you're doing this.
She goes to Jose's gallery to learn to have a series of real bummer things happen. Jose is back and he's creepier than ever.
He kind of says it's better to ask forgiveness than permission, right?
She comes into his gallery and finds giant pictures of her. And she's like, "What the fuck is this?" And Jose is like, "Oh, hey, sorry, gosh, I blew up all the pictures of you, and I made my gallery about you. I didn't want to ask because I knew you'd say no." And it's like, and then it's like, good news, a stranger bought them all.
It's like, what happened.
Yeah,
right? This is where it's like, are you a fucking moron, Jose? Like, if this guy buys the portraits,
right,
charge him more money.
Yes,
he's gonna pay it.
Yeah.
Charge him $1 million a portrait. Would that take you 3 seconds to take that portrait?
Right.
Like, retire on this shit, bro.
Yeah. He'll pay for it.
He'll pay anything you want.
Maniac will pay for it.
Right, because he's trying to possess all images of her.
Yeah.
That's one thing he's trying to do.
Absolutely.
Like, he's going to own all public images of her, which is an astounding thing.
But again, before she realizes it's Christian Grey, it's still this moment of like, you took a bunch of pictures of me. Also, some anonymous person bought all the pictures.
Right.
And then it's like, but good news, it's your ex.
Right.
And it's oh, good.
Yeah.
It just gets worse and worse.
It does. It absolutely does. I'm sorry, Dave. Do you mind if I go back 2 seconds?
No, go for it.
So my first observation about this montage was you probably could have switched out Jack for Christian and just pretended like you didn't do it. And I'm not sure that many people would have noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're interchangeable.
They're identical.
They're almost the same person.
Yeah. I guess she has a type.
Yeah.
But it's not like she doesn't pursue Jack, so that's unfair to say.
Correct.
But Christian has a type, and we'll get into that.
Yes, we will. Next thing is the roommate and the boyfriend are the first of many opportunities this film passed up for an orgy.
Yes.
Like, if this is an erotic journey, right? So every time there could have been an orgy.
It's supposed to be, yes.
Okay. Anytime should have been an orgy, I'm going to note it.
Exactly.
That's my job.
No, this still has the same, like, about 15 minutes worth of vanilla sex for the most part.
This movie could have been, honestly, without breasts, it could have been PG-13 probably. Yeah. Really? Yes. Like, honestly.
It feels like they toned it down, actually, from the first one.
It was not more erotic. Yeah. No. It was less erotic.
It was less erotic from the first movie that was already less erotic.
Yeah. Right. They even have the audacity for her to throw a vanilla fucking, like a vanilla ice cream tin at him, and that's your new favorite flavor.
Right. So that's the plot is, in the first 15 minutes, he's back. They're back together. Yeah. And it's like, okay, really so what was the point of the other movie? I don't know, man. Like, it really seems like, it's like Star Wars Episode 1, where you're like, oh, so none of this needed to be here. We could have just started with the second one.
Right.
So they're... Yeah, they're immediately back together, and she's like, I want a vanilla relationship. And for her, that just means like shopping, grocery shopping, and cooking together.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is most of what they do in this movie.
Right.
Most of this is like a nice weekend with a girlfriend, like with a new girlfriend and boyfriend, where there's a couple bumps in the road, but they managed to get over it. Like, that's the tone of it, right?
Right. But like, okay, so he's begging her to come back. Yeah, again, it's like, I want a calmer relationship, and it's like, calmer than the one you already had?
Right. What do you... Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They go to dinner to negotiate terms, as he puts it.
That's where I got excited, Dave.
Yep.
I was like, bringing back the fucking contract.
know.
Here we go.
But there's no contract in this.
No,
and
they don't
sucks.
sign shit.
Yeah.
There's no lawyers revealing anything. Nothing exciting happens in this movie.
He orders her steak. And he's like, 2 steaks. And it's like, really, dude? 2 steaks?
Cover them in testosterone if you could. If you could soak them in sperm, that'd be great. Could you do that? Could you do that, sir?
He says, what happened before is not going to happen again.
Well, before that, he has the line, I don't like strangers gawking at you, as his justification
Yes.
for buying the painting, the portraits. Which is like, so you really are trying to prevent anybody from seeing her.
Yeah. Yeah, you cannot see her. He wants a sex pet. He wants someone who basically he can lock away.
Yeah.
But he loves her so much.
That he doesn't get what he wants.
Right.
Like, he's going to put what he wants in a box. Just quickly, on the point of this guy is worse than Jack, his replacement, who we're going to see in the third movie. On that point, like, they have an agreement when they leave the art gallery and they're going to go to dinner, right? Like, which, by the way, another one of his famous moves. Let's talk about this, a different place. Sounds good. So they're on the fucking way to this restaurant, and he takes her and slams her up against the wall without her permission and kisses her. And she kisses him back, so I guess it's okay, but that's literally assault.
Yeah.
Like, he literally assaults her. Right? Like,
wait, which part is this?
It's right. It kind of passes by. You don't even think about it.
Right.
Like, they're walking from the art gallery to the restaurant where he orders her steak, and he slams her against the fucking wall, and it's rough, man.
Yeah.
And she kisses him back, so I guess it's cool.
Right. But it's
like,
and then
no,
later
that's
Jack
assault.
does the exact same thing, and it's like
oh, and like, I understand context matters.
Previous relationship, I guess, based off bondage, but it's still like not
They're
cool,
the same.
man.
They're the same
again,
guy.
but there's no conflict here where they're just together again.
Right. He just decided, and that's how it happened.
Her reason for like being, because he says what happened before is not going to happen again, and she calls him out and she says, the reason I'm upset is you were getting off on the pain you inflicted. Right. And I thought, like, as opposed to what?
Right.
What
was the other thing gonna be?
Yeah, isn't that literally like, wouldn't it be weird if he wasn't enjoying it and still doing it?
Well,
like, the whole point was first movie was like, I'm a dom, I want to inflict pain and get off. And then in this movie she's like, I can't believe you were getting off on the pain you were inflicting.
It doesn't make sense. But also, like, I guess maybe she thought this was all a way of giving her heightened pleasure. Like, maybe there was something naive there.
Maybe.
Like, yeah, I mean, they don't develop it, so
no, it feels like the first movie is her discovering what
this is.
Rough sex is.
Right. Right.
So he gives her a gift.
Can I ask you a question before you get any further?
Okay.
How long have they been dating?
Right now?
At that point, how long? What is the duration?
Well, they broke up.
What is the duration of their entire relationship, would you say?
Oh, a few months.
I think less.
Yeah.
I could be talked into it is no longer than 1 month.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
I mean, this is what's wild is there's a point when she meets back with her boss, and I realized, like, this has all been a weekend.
Yeah.
And it was like, wait. What the fuck? No, again, that's why them breaking up at the end of the first movie is meaningless, because this feels like a week later. Like, it doesn't feel like it feels like there was no reason for the first movie.
He congratulates her for getting a job, which, by the way, that should have tipped her off she's being spied on.
Yes.
You know, like, yeah. So there's so that tells me, I guess that's supposed to tell us time has passed. Like, maybe a couple weeks.
Maybe a couple months.
I doubt it, man.
I know.
It just doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Can't be that long, because if it's too long, then it's like, it's weird for him to show back up in her life, for her not to be like, oh my God, it's been years, you know, like,
it couldn't
that
have
would
been
be
years.
a significant thing. So it feels like it's like, like he sends her those flowers, and she's like clearly he's not over her.
But she just got a job, so how long could it have been if money's real? If money's real to her,
a couple months at the most,
max.
Yeah,
maximum. It should have been a year. I think a year would have been a really interesting interlude.
A surprise. Her life, she's moved on. They run into each other.
That would have been better. Yes, I would have liked that better.
Yeah.
So the gift.
Yeah. All right. So he gives her a gift.
Right.
And they're together now. That's it. She didn't even open the gift yet. They're together.
Right.
They're making it out of the door. Then she opens the gift.
The gift.
So does he work for Apple Computers?
I just think this is your starter girlfriend kit.
Yeah.
It's like you get a laptop and a key and a phone.
Right.
And I have a text already waiting for you on it. Like
he buys her, to be clear, another laptop. Another Apple.
Laptop.
He bought her one months ago.
Right. How many
what's wrong with the first one?
Nothing. This is just for your weekend laptop.
Yeah. He buys her. That's so uncreative that he bought her another fucking MacBook. Thank you. Good God.
MacBook.
And an iPhone.
Give her an iPad. Like give her some tweener tech here, dude.
Give her like a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like something. Give her a new TV.
He wouldn't like that because she might be able to talk to people online through that.
That's true.
Yeah, there's no internet on any of those things, by the way.
It's so wild. Like, did Apple Computer have a deal with this company or this film at this point?
They might have. I think they might have also been like, as long as you see the logo, we're okay with you being in here.
But that's like the first movie was already filled with product placement. It is just so wild to me that the product placement in this is so clear that they couldn't think of something else for him to buy her, and it's just another computer. She's literally going to just put it on top of the other computer he bought you, which is months old.
Well, so she did give back the car, right?
So is the idea that she gave back the computer?
And she got back everything back? Is that what that's supposed to mean?
I don't know, man.
Really unclear.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my first thought when I saw it, is like, so she's just going to add it to the pile. Like, here's second phone, second laptop.
The sex bribes.
That's right.
She runs into the mystery woman.
The mystery woman, for a little while, just because my imagination runs wild.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe there's a possibility this Twilight fanfic thing, it's more than just the sex. Like, maybe this lady is a link into the vampire world.
I really wanted it.
Yeah, something. Just
she
anything.
looks like she's been living in a sewer. Like, she is... And we learned she's basically John Wick. Like, he can find you and get you wherever you are. She will John watch Wick. You sleep.
She is. Yeah. I mean, she's Edward is what she is. She's fucking Edward from Twilight. You know, just a different angle on Edward from Twilight.
So we get cool boss versus bondage boss. They look identical. She goes to have lunch and he just like takes her away, and it was like, well, that was weird.
He doesn't. He doesn't even do like have a beer with this man and like figure out his deal.
Well, here's the thing: is he's probably our research, this guy, right? And what we learn later,
fair enough,
is he says to her he's been through like 3 assistants in the last like 6 months, and they've all quit suddenly.
Okay.
That line. But here's the thing:
didn't catch that.
He should have told her that immediately. He spends like a half hour of the movie being like, "No, you can't be around that guy." And it's like, just say that, because and she actually points that out. She's like, he says something about an argument, and she's like, "No, this is a conversation that we just had." And it's just like it's that weirdness of like, he doesn't realize that if he had just told her like, "Hey, heads up about your boss," he seems like a creep.
Yeah.
She would understand why he's like angry.
I mean,
but he's just like a weirdo, and she says to be calm, and he says calm isn't really my forte.
Yeah, it's not really.
And it's like, okay, well, just hurl another red flag.
Just want to point out Christian and Jack and Anastasia is orgy number 2 we could have had.
Yes.
Didn't get it. Yeah. Just point that out.
Yeah, especially since he buys her company.
Right.
And he's becoming his boss. He says he wants to move into publishing along with agriculture and whatever the fuck else he did. Because his company
this guy's like fucking Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
This guy's running the company that ends up creating Wall-E.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a fucking ridiculous company. This is the point in the movie where I wrote down, so we're just going to like watch a regular relationship.
Exactly.
That's what this is gonna be.
So nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the movie is like, something's going to happen. Because they do some good old vanilla bed fucking.
Yeah, sure.
And then she wakes up in the middle of the night and someone is standing and watching her sleep. Yeah. And she does a double take and they're gone like a flash.
Right.
Like a horror movie ghost.
She must have assumed it was a dream, right?
Yes. But that means it's the woman, it's the stalker.
Yes, right.
And that means she's, I don't know, crouched when she looks
Where
back.
did she go?
Yeah. Because, again, she's not supernatural. She's not a ghost, we learn. The scene treats her like a ghost.
Yeah, she could have, it felt like she folded in on herself or something.
Yeah.
It is definitely impossible.
Yeah, and the movie is not going to talk about what happened for a little while.
The movie doesn't do that basic thing that movies always do, which is make sure you know what trope it's supposed to be.
Yes.
This movie's like, nah, you know, it's kind of a trope, right?
And again, it's ultimately a lot of things that don't actually add to the conclusion of this movie.
No, they just are things that happen.
Like if you think the stalker, if you think the stalker is going to play into the climax, you are wrong.
Not even a little. The climax.
We'll get it.
Has absolutely nothing to do with anything at all.
Yeah, it's a series of events. Right. It's a series of events.
Okay, so you're going to be thrilled to hear this. In an interview with the writer, she said, I wrote one chapter, and then whatever happened next, I wrote that next.
That sounds about right.
What she did. It's
exactly the characters just, they directed themselves.
The screenwriter had the audacity to leave this line in here, right? The line was, what do you want, Anastasia? What do you want, right? And then, at 23 minutes in, they asked that question, never answer it.
Never answer it. She doesn't want anything. She rips up his $24,000 check. Right. So relatable of her.
Right.
No struggles whatsoever.
Kim Basinger later has the audacity to say, it's not about what you want, it's about what he needs.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
The arcs, the characters in this, the characters are straight line throughout, pretty much. And just like the first one, it is a ironed out straight line.
It is the flattest, dullest sea you've ever crossed. Yeah, it really is.
He transfers the cash, and she's like, how do you have my bank account? He never answers.
He's like, what's a breakfast?
Yeah.
Let's take this conversation to the woods.
Right. He does that in this. He keeps changing the venue.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's his move.
It is.
You know what? Let's talk about this in a brewery. Yeah. I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's talk about this.
I'll meet you up front
on the
5
5th
minutes.
floor.
Yeah. Then he's like, I'd like to invite you to a ball. And it's like, okay, this might be plot.
Right.
She says, I've never been to a ball. I don't even have a dress. And I was like, buy it with your $24,000. Like, you can't be Cinderella all of a sudden where you're like, whatever will I wear? It's like you ripped up $24,000. If you're hurting financially, you're not telling us.
Money is absolutely meaningless to her.
Yes.
It's only there for emotional purposes when it's convenient and not throughout.
Right.
Can I also say, before this, Christian, when she talks, who is that woman? Because she asks Christian, who is this woman?
There's another horror movie moment where he sees her.
Yeah, and he's like, don't worry about it. And then he makes a phone call. Why would she not assume he's having her killed?
Yeah.
Why, honestly, what real reason does Anastasia Steele assume that he's not, burying her at the end of the road or something? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not even a bit. For real, I don't.
No, his weird assistance happens a few times. When the boss assaults her, he sends his bodyguard in. I was like, to do what?
Just go.
Yeah, did he just beat the shit out of him?
Did he fucking murder this man?
Yeah, I mean, he has it coming, but at least to, get slapped around and stuff, or, call the cops.
Right, but this guy's clearly a murder ghoul.
That guy is he's a henchman.
Yeah.
Christian Grey has henchmen.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, it's when you say there's a sex Joker, he's not sex Batman.
Not at all.
That should be clear.
Not at all. No.
I don't know what he is.
Yeah.
He's sex Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Sex
That's
Luthor.
Closer. He's sex Luthor.
Yeah. We got it.
Yep. Didn't even take that long either.
Yeah. So she's being haunted by this ex. That's what this movie's about. It's about the ghosts of sex past. It's
basically.
Yeah.
But we don't. I mean, to be clear, at no point in the movie do we really know what happened.
No.
We never get the real past. We get impressions of what we're supposed to think about his past.
Yes.
But no details.
Right. Yeah. And she's like, who is that lady? And he's like, here's her file. And she very rightfully is like, yeah. Dossier. She's like, huh, do I have a file? And he's like, yeah. Shows her one. She's referred to as the subject in the file.
The pictures are these unflattering cop pictures. Yeah. And then somebody had the audacity to type it on a typewriter.
Yes.
It's not even a printout. They typed it. Like some guy's playing detective to himself, like, really doing something now.
Yeah, probably. He was like, I need you to make her a file. And he's like, can I use the old? He's like, yes, use the typewriter. I know you love the typewriter. You think you're a fucking private detective.
Some middle-aged guy's like, finally, I'm a private dick.
Yeah.
It's just like I imagined it, right? Exterior, night.
Yeah, exactly.
That is exactly what fucking happened.
Oh my god!
Don't you dare dismount that. That's what happened.
He is the most organized stalker. Basically, is what we're learning. Here.
He's not even a smart stalker. Like he gets caught in stuff all the time.
Well, he's too rich to fail, so he doesn't care.
Yeah, that is his ultimate plan. Is I'm going to buy everything I have to buy.
Yeah.
Like your outrage, what's that cost? Here's $10. Like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I own that now.
That's the thing. I'd love to be near this guy because I feel like you could make a lot of money.
That's exactly. Yeah. Nobody's fucking smart, man.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I could have retired on this guy's outrage so quick.
Right.
Easy.
I would literally I would just bump into him on the street and be like, the time it took just then really upset me, and I want like 50,000. Like you just took 50,000 away from my day.
I'm sorry. Did you look at my penis?
Yeah,
I say you did. For $1 million, I say you did.
Sir, you whipped your penis out. It's like and you looked at it. So
I had to look at it.
That's $100K,
and I will identify it in court.
Yeah, exactly. That's $100K right now. I would blackmail the shit out of this guy.
The dossier was actually an exciting moment, both for hilarity, and because we're gonna have a real conflict.
Yeah, I was like, really though?
Nope. Because again, he changes the venue. That's what he does. He's like, you know what? Instead of talking about this, I'm going to show you how you can trust me.
Yeah.
Take this lipstick. Draw on my chest. Now, I didn't understand what the exercise was supposed to be, so I was hoping to God that she was connecting all those scars together in one line, and it was going to form a shape or an answer to this mistake. Right. It was going to be like her face or some shit based on like connecting the dots. That's not what we got.
Nope. Yeah. So the first, he says, she's, okay, yes, I just want to note the venue changes because she's like, who is that woman? He's like, I'll explain when we get to my office.
I'll explain in the office.
And then she's like, what the fuck? You have a file on me and stuff? And he's like, come into the bedroom. She's like, why? And so, she draws an armpit to armpit. So I'm actually confused about this.
Yeah.
He draws a line
This is the
from
no-touch zone.
Yes, from armpit to armpit,
all the way down to his
belly button,
and then across the
so like a
under
U.
part of his neck.
Yeah. And he says, those are my boundaries.
You can't touch that. That's the part that's not touchable.
Okay, because she immediately touches his arms, and I was like, okay. And then when they're in the shower, she touches the boundary, the bad place.
She
right?
washes it off. Which is like symbolism. Fudging the boundary. But she doesn't actually touch inside the boundary till the end of the movie.
Okay.
So they do follow that rule.
Okay.
It seems like it causes him pain to be touched there.
I think it's the idea that
psychological.
Yeah, exactly. His dad put out cigarettes on his chest or whatever.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. It looks like exactly that, honestly.
Yeah. But before there, we meet the Sith Lord, the older Dom, Mrs. Robinson.
She's the best character in the story, right?
Right.
Do we agree on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's the most interesting. It's because he's like, I want you to get your hair done for the ball, and takes her to her, who doesn't like her openly, and I don't know what he thought. What
was the plan there?
Yeah.
There was no. That's one of those stories where it's like, this is only there for the outrage Anastasia's going to feel, not for story reasons.
The story there is ridiculous because that first scene, he like kisses her on the cheek. He seems happy to see her.
Right.
And then the moment Anastasia meets her, she's like, I fucking, you can't give him what you need, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then the next time he talks to her, he's like, why are you at my party? Get out of here. And it's like, I don't understand what you think about this woman.
I don't either. They cut a scene where she talks to Christian about what Elena said at the masquerade ball that I think was supposed to tie that together more, but it didn't still.
I love that you watched the special features.
I had 20 extra minutes because Dave needed to finish the movie, and I was like, all right, I'm going to watch all the deleted scenes and special features. So now I know that.
Yep. Gown picking montage, extremely uninteresting and interesting. That's all I have written down.
I thought the hottest scene in the movie was the vaginal balls.
Sure.
Honestly.
That's what happens next. He gives her vaginal beads, sex beads that I believe are remote controlled, although I don't know if they ever I
couldn't figure out exactly the mechanics of that.
They have stuff like that, like vibrating underwear, shit like that.
They didn't go out of their way to define that.
It's balls for the ball.
But I thought that scene... that scene was shot well, and
that was the sexiest scene of the movie because it's also the kinkiest.
Yes,
thing.
it is. Yes.
And I definitely want to get into the leg straps because that was again. Yeah, I know.
They weren't anything. I was so mad.
They weren't anything.
I was like, "What is that for? What are we going to do with that?"
They acted like that was going to be more intense than the nipple clamps that he was fine talking about. Because she's like, "What's this?" And he's like, "I don't want to talk about that."
Do you hang upside down with
those?
Yeah,
it was just leg cuffs.
But are they supposed to be like you hang upside down with that rod? Is that what it's supposed to be for?
I don't know. I don't know
what that thing's supposed
cuffs.
to be. Anyway, I didn't get it. Okay.
So he gives her these luxury vaginal beads.
Yeah.
And inserts them. His family Eyes Wide Shut party.
It's not Eyes Wide Shut, which made me furious.
Yeah,
because I know
you're looking for
should
orgies.
Fucking be. Yeah.
It's his mother's there, his sister's there. It's for the ball with his family, where they're wearing stupid little masks. I want to see just once. I want to see a rubber Dracula mask at one of those. Just once. But they're wearing the rich people masks.
Literally any of the masks from Eyes Wide Shut there.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about that movie.
Yeah.
Those insane ass clown masks and shit they have there.
Yeah. Ugh. No, none of that. It's just an auction with his family. He uses the beads during the auction, so it's like a sexy auction.
Where she throws the money away that he gave her.
Yes, that she doesn't give a shit about.
Right. So, okay. We really didn't even need to be at that party except to meet Elena, right?
Yeah.
That's the only reason, right?
Yeah. She could have just originally been the person to do her hair, and then we would have cut all of that out. 90-minute film. Come on now.
Yep, that's correct. Also, brief comment. They have sex at this party in his room, and he leaves her in his room, in his bedroom, a thing I can't imagine he would really do. There's no fucking way he would do that,
because he's so controlling that it's like he's withholding.
He has a picture of his mother there.
Yeah, he's so withholding. He has a Chronicles of Riddick poster. You'd think he'd take that shit down before she'd get in there. He'd be like, "Oh shit, hold on, wait in the hallway, wait in the hallway."
I think that's what he's been edging her toward.
Yeah,
just like, are you down to Riddick?
It does mean that he sits and they watch Riddick together, right?
Oh, yeah.
In my head canon,
no doubt.
They watch Pitch Black. Yep. They watch Chronicles of Riddick. They watch that other one.
Yeah,
and by extension, probably other Vin Diesel films. He's probably a big
triple
Diesel
Xing all the time.
Yeah,
they're triple Xing all the time.
They better be.
Not in the chill way.
No, they're in the Xander zone.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
100%. Can I just one comment about the beads? I find it. I know she went through and researched everything that all these terms are for the contract in the first movie.
Right.
So her ignorance about what things are.
It was weird because he shows her those and she's like, "What are those?" And if someone showed me those,
I'd know what
I'd
they
be
were.
Like, well, they're gonna go in me.
Right, of course.
And then he's like, "I have to get them moist," and sticks them in her mouth.
Yeah.
And, not incredibly sanitary, but whatever.
Sure.
And then she's like, "Are those going in my butt?" Which is a fair question.
You're not putting those in my butt. That's what she says.
And that is a good question to ask in that moment.
I think that's right.
Yeah. And he's like, "Nope."
And then she has the audacity to be surprised.
Yeah. This movie draws a very, hard and, a line at butt stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, no butt stuff. And she draws that line in the first movie.
I think that tells you who it's for.
Yeah, and it's okay. People,
sure.
The character draws that line, so it's like, okay, she doesn't want butt stuff. That's fine.
Yeah,
good for her. It's just for a movie about it's about how vanilla this whole thing is, from beginning to end.
It's so vanilla. In fact, I was trying to place where I thought this ball would have fit in others like media.
Sure.
And It's Sex in the
What do
City.
you mean, like, oh, okay,
That's where this masquerade ball could have happened.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the vaginal balls.
Oh, no,
there's
no.
two balls
was like, yeah.
in this. Technically, there's 3 balls because there's two vaginal balls
in the inner vagina, and then there's
the ball
masquerade.
that she's at.
Yeah,
it's
ball.
meta. It's rushing nesting balls.
Yeah, but they don't really get us off, Dave. That's the problem.
No. When she bids on like his Aspen ski house or whatever,
a thing he mentions that he has, we don't go there.
Yeah, we don't go there.
We don't go there. A thing we should have obviously done.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's again when you're writing a movie, there's this thing called plant and payoff, where you plant ideas and then you pay them off. If you're writing a mystery, you plant a lot and then don't necessarily pay off everything. Those are red herrings.
Yeah.
If you're doing a horror movie, you plant weapons or scenario or locations. This is all plant. There's very little payoff.
Like the third movie is going to have to be 4 hours long and do everything the fourth and fifth Twilight movie did.
I'm going to need to see this ski lodge.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I need to see it. By the way, when he says that line, she rolls her eyes, and it was the first time I really liked her in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Dropping that horse shit. I know you have it. Fuck you. I don't care. Anyway.
She bids on it. He says, I don't know whether to worship at your feet or spank you.
She says, spank me.
Yeah.
Right?
And we get the spanking scene in his childhood bedroom.
The spanking scene is very stupid.
Yeah.
Here's why it's stupid. Not because spanking is stupid, because he's definitely not spanking her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very clear to me, like, they wanted to do it safe, right? Which is all good. I get that. And I'm not saying...
Right.
But the hits look fake.
Oh, yeah,
And the sound effects are really fake.
You can have a stunt butt. You can...
I don't know if that's how you fix that problem.
I don't know. But it doesn't look
good.
It doesn't look good.
It didn't look good.
At this point, we're at a sex scene every, like, 20 minutes. None of them are that good.
And
we're like 40 minutes in and nothing has happened.
Nothing is happening. The one thing that should be happening that really frustrated me is while they're having sex, why isn't the lipstick melting on his body?
Oh, I had that question.
The lipstick's fucking magic.
They show up in the shower. I was like, he still
has that on?
Is he reapplying it? Like, what is happening?
I think
has he not showered in that time?
Anytime he takes it off, he redraws the lines.
I
Just
hope
a reminder.
So. Otherwise, he's got a real dirty dick. He's disgusting.
I think you can assume
he's
got a real rat maypole.
He's not. He's not showering.
I think he's got a dirty barber stripe is what he's got going on down there. It's a real nightmare.
Her car gets destroyed and they usher her away immediately like she's looking at a dead body. They're like, no, come on.
Got it. Yeah. With his like 8 goons that they introduce with
there's so many goons.
Yeah, they just show like he's in a fucking entourage. There's 3 cars to get him places, and it's like, why?
Right.
Is this guy forming a militia? Like, what's he doing?
I don't know, man.
Is he running fucking Cobra?
Yeah. So in another movie, he would absolutely get murdered by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, he would just show up and kill him.
He's the guy from that Simpsons episode we all love so much.
Yeah, Hank Scorpio.
Yeah, that's who he is.
He really is.
Yeah.
And that's like... It would have been cool if that's the direction this went. There's a lot of things that would have been cool if it happened.
Dave, there were so many movies I wanted this to be that it isn't.
So that's when I realized the ex is like John Wick because they're like, they're like, let's go up to the apartment, and he's like, no, she can get in there, and it's like, really? So, like he's like, if she can get, she wasn't supposed to get into the garage, so she's just slipping through vents. I don't know what she's doing. So they go to his boat. And I was like, oh yeah, way more secure.
Let's talk about this on the boat.
Yeah.
They go to the boat. That's right. That's where the third orgy should have happened.
Yeah.
Between them and the blonde assistant who's just running around the back of the boat.
Yes, also nothing ever happens with her.
Yeah.
She wants
it's him. It's a him, but there's like some guy. There's
also the house.
Oh no, Mrs. Jones?
Mrs. Jones.
I know who you're talking about.
Who wants to fuck him. Yeah. She I fucks the shit out of him at the party, and then just gives fucking Anastasia the fucking like evil eye.
Sneer. She gives him a straight up sneer, like just an unacceptable sneer. I thought.
So
it was the rich montage time. That's what we needed. It was like time for a rich montage. Let's go on a boat.
But they're on a boat that they fuck in the shower. I want to say no.
That's before this.
It might be after, actually.
No, it's not.
I noted that the lipstick is still on him.
That's when it doesn't matter. It happens right around there.
We learned that his mom OD'd.
Yes, that's the one emotional thing that we learn, I'd say, in this movie. Yeah.
And then they pass by a house, a lakeside house, and I flagged this because it's such a rich guy thing. They're like, who do you think lives there? And he says, oh, it's an old sea widow waiting for her like sailor lover. And she's like, you just made that up. Tee hee hee. The house that they're looking for is worth millions.
Right.
And so it's so telling that he's like, look at that quaint little house next to the lake. And it is like a McMansion that's gigantic. Yeah.
I think he's probably at that point embarrassed to tell her that he owns that too.
Probably.
He doesn't want to admit it. He's now embarrassed to tell her all the things he owns.
Right.
It's like too much to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, of course he owns everything.
Right.
They're on a boat, which, by the way, it's once again another transportation wooing scene.
That's what this movie does.
Yep.
Just take her on a ride anywhere.
Yep.
Like
Look at the thing he owns.
If you took her to a roller coaster, that woman would be your slave for the rest of your life.
Only if he owns the roller coaster.
Right.
That's the rule.
Right.
Then wow. Then she goes back to work.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, it's been the weekend. Holy fucking Christ.
I just think it's great that you accept the idea that could have been the weekend.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, she just doesn't work when she doesn't want to.
I
That's
guess
what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a shitty boss now because she has a boyfriend.
Yeah. This is a scene where he's passive aggressive in a way that is shitty, but as I understand it, right? Like his behavior's like, okay, you're being petty and terrible, but the point that he makes is interesting, which is like, you don't need this job. So you're not going to do a very good job at it, right? Like that's what he's getting at.
Yeah,
and that was an interesting point.
That's what he's saying, but I wouldn't say that's what he's getting.
That's not what he's really getting at. Yeah, 100%. But that point that he makes is an interesting point that they should have gone somewhere with.
Yeah, it still makes him a shit, but it's definitely like
totally.
Yeah, that would have been better than him just being jealous, I guess. But he's also probably mad that her boyfriend is buying his company, and they don't play with any of that. He's just a creep.
No, he's just a creep.
He's very two-dimensional.
The text that she sends Christian at the meeting thrilled me because Christian was in the middle of a boardroom that had to be staged for his benefit, right? Because everybody's talking around him, and he's sitting there just mad looking.
He
at this
doesn't know what he does.
He has no idea.
Yeah,
he's Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. Like he's completely Bruce Wayne. Like that's what this meeting tells 100%. Me. Yeah, that's definitely what happened. The text fight was very funny.
Yeah. And this is when he's like, I forbid you from taking this trip with the boss.
Right.
Again, just say, I think this guy is bad news.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Why
Don't say,
obfuscate
I forbid.
this?
He's making it like a test of her faith, and that's or her obedience.
Right.
And it's like, isn't this the whole point that you're in a relationship? And I guess you could say old habits die hard or something like that, but it doesn't matter. He's being a jerk.
He is, but he's also his logic is incomprehensible. Like real manipulative people are skilled enough not to go straight to that.
Right. He would. You'd think a manipulative person would love to say this guy is bad.
Right.
Because that closes down the conversation for good reason.
Yes.
But he's not doing that.
Like he just doesn't have any skill at that.
No.
Yeah. It's very strange.
This is where we meet Mrs. Jones. She goes to the house.
That was my fourth orgy.
Okay. Yeah. And I just want to note his apartment sucks. And I know
it's boring.
Yeah, he has random dot lights. You remember those dot lights? Yeah. He has big cold floors.
Yep.
He has a tiny TV,
wide open space.
Yep.
Yeah.
In his bedroom, he has a waiting room setup. Did you notice that? He has like 3 chairs, like comfy but not too comfy chairs, and a coffee table to the side. You think for the orgies, that's those people read a magazine.
The orgies, I'm desperate to get in 50 Shades Freed.
His sex room is the only place, like the red room,
that has character.
Yeah, that has like good lighting that looks like lived in.
That looks designed. Everything else looks like it's out of a catalog to sell a house.
Yeah, you could argue that's what makes him sex Batman, where it's like, oh, none of this is where he feels comfortable. It's his Batcave is where he's truly who he is. But they don't. That's not the movie.
They're not really trying to make that. I wrote down. So I think we're feeling the same way. I wrote down at that point, Christian is so fucking boring. The only thing that makes him interesting is that he has secrets.
Yeah.
So they just keep slowly unspooling them.
And the secrets are horrifying.
Right. They're horrifying, but it's literally the only thing that makes him not a walking suit. He would be so boring without the secrets. Yeah.
He is. So he's interchangeable. Again, her other boss character is like, you could have cast him as Christian Grey. Like, you could have, like, easily. He would have been fine. Him. Yeah.
I firmly believe that.
This is when
he becomes differentiable once they've buried him alive. A point we're going to get to later.
Yeah. Mrs. Jones, housekeeper, has seen some fucked up shit. Very clear.
Yeah.
So then she goes into the red room. She finds the nipple clamps.
Right.
And he shows them how it works, and then she finds the leg cuffs, and he's like, I don't want to talk about that. And then we find out what it is, and it's just...
Well, he hypes it like, you need to walk before you can run, and she goes, I like to run. It's like, okay,
and it's
here
like,
we go.
He was ready to show... He wanted the nipple clamps. He's like showing her how they work. He's clearly like...
Try this shit
maybe
out.
nipple clamps,
maybe
perhaps?
Clamps? Yeah.
But then he's, with this, he's like, no, you have to walk before you can run. I guess walk is nipple clamps and run is leg cuffs. Like, it's just in the wrong order.
They're leg cuffs on a stick.
Right, to keep her legs apart.
Yeah,
but that
didn't seem like a really adventurous
she can do that
thing.
herself.
Yeah.
It's that's what I mean.
Tied to a bed.
They're incredibly tame.
Yeah.
And they treat them like it's the fucking most forbidden thing in his sex room.
That's right. And I was wondering to myself, like, is there another way to use this that they didn't have the guts to do?
If they did, they aren't telling us.
Yeah. I got more curious because of the use of those leg cuffs than I would have been if I hadn't seen them at all.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah. Okay.
Next notice I have is the boss, who becomes a walking sexual harassment PSA. And then assaults her.
Oh, I wanted to say they go back to the conversation about you're forbidden to go to New York.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So they go back to that conversation.
That's when he finally says,
"Yeah,
this guy's bad news."
Correct.
Yeah.
But he basically weaves when she's like pressing him on, like, you can't control me. He's like, okay, you're right. How about you move in with me?
Right.
Like, she basically says, like, hey, I need to work. It's like, I like doing it. He's like, you know what? How about you move into me? And then she smiles at him and says, like this is a good conversation. We had a good conversation here. I'm like, no, he just bought you off.
Yeah,
that wasn't a conversation. Yeah,
the bar is so low for this man.
Right. Well, earlier, I forgot to mention this. She explained to him, for a conversation to happen, the other person has to be conscious. And it cuts to his face, and he's like,
yeah, and he's like,
deal breaker.
Yeah, no, this is why it feels like the movie's gaslighting us into thinking he's okay.
Yeah.
Because they have to show this boss who is a monster.
He turns into a complete unhinged maniac.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like, there's no warning about this. They're at work, and he assaults her in his office.
It's hard to, okay.
It is a scary scene.
It's a terrifying scene, and it just feels like, wow, it was just stunning.
It's one of those things where the scene is very real, but everything around it is like very fabricated. That's why I say he's like a PSA all of a sudden. He's like,
he's not the same person anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was my issue with it.
Right. They could have done like the passive aggressive nice guy stuff.
I think,
and that would have been more interesting.
I agree. He could have whittled down her confidence and been like a truly manipulative person, and that would have been interesting. He also could have been drunk.
Yeah,
and that would have justified a lot of this.
Yeah, Hana's
weaving. Is coming into
can
this.
I just say, first of all, I did not find a nest of rats under our porch. I don't know where they're coming from. And second of all,
thank you.
Sometimes men are very different with other men than they are when they are alone with us, and sometimes they will take an opportunity. So I didn't have that problem with that part of the movie so much as every other problem that you have already discussed.
So that didn't trip you as like, that's weird. That scene felt real to you, or real, like typologically real.
That scene felt like it felt possible.
Okay.
It felt possible.
Great.
Some people turn on a dime when they see an opportunity.
I've heard that, so I'm not.
That makes sense.
I'm not casting aspersions on it, but like trying to place him in a continuum of his behavior.
This is why, for folks listening, we set up a third mic for literally this reason.
That's right.
Because we are two dudes talking about this movie about like controlling guys around a lady, and we will definitely keep checking in with Hana, and like this is very necessary. At this point.
Thank you for saying that. Because
I'm not outruling the idea that there is a rat nest under our porch.
Okay. Well, you keep hunting those rats.
I will keep hunting them.
I am gonna. Yeah, we're gonna check in with the rats. At the end of the episode for sure. I want to know more about the rats. Yeah.
I don't want to explain the rats, by the way, to anybody. Let's just
no.
Yeah.
I just want to know.
We don't have to.
What? Yeah, they're dying of resin though. That's one thing. Like.
Yeah.
So like this is a great moment for a detour. One time, my brother, we came outside when we were in high school, and his car wouldn't start. Right, and he's like, "What?" So he. Like, it was making a weird noise, so he pops open the hood, and a rat was dead, like, perfectly dead on his engine, like, and cooked. Right? Terrible, right? So we assumed our dad must have put it there, right?
Why did you assume that?
I think you can accept that my assumption was based on previous circumstances.
Yeah,
Dave,
no, that's
okay?
yeah. I was not questioning that. I was just thinking that tells us a lot.
So we had to clean up the rat, and then, like, my brother calls my dad, and he's like, so what happened to my car? He's like, I don't know. What happened to your car? Did you, like, we're having like one of those conversations. Did you leave a certain something for me in the car? No. You know what I mean? And it turns out when rats eat something weird like rat poison, they go up into a dark corner to die.
Aw.
Yeah, it's sad.
They get in all sorts of places too.
Right.
Like, yeah. I'm not surprised.
So I'm just saying, check your car engines.
Okay.
In the next couple days.
Well, okay.
We didn't put out the resin to kill the rats. The bird feeder is overflowing onto the resin that is curing in the sun.
The
that
birds
has
are working
nothing
with
to
the
do
rats.
with
Nobody
the
here is
rats.
blaming you for the fate of the rats.
Look, we're probably doing something the CIA has tried over and over again. We made suicide rats. I'm just saying it wasn't on purpose.
No,
we don't want to hurt. If you could
these
give
rats
us,
don't have monkeypox, and damn anybody who says they do.
If
It's
you
a
could give
happy
us
accident.
tips on how to humanely trap them and release them where there is
Get one of those
somehow
buckets.
not
Tips.
Yeah. We don't have a rat problem. For people wondering, we don't have a rat problem. They're outside. If they
No,
come
they have
inside,
not gotten inside.
then we're going to have a problem. And Kitten certainly isn't going to do anything.
That cat will fillet them and post its head on a pike.
Now,
as a
I've
warning
seen
to the
what
others.
happens when she's met a mouse.
Yeah.
And what happens is she plays with them for 45 minutes and lets them go completely intact. So that's why I'm saying she's not going to do anything. She's going to, at most,
I feel
annoy
like
the rats.
that's a metaphor for this movie.
Yeah.
I was hoping she was going to turn into Rick from Rick and Morty. Just
I watched her.
That's her demeanor.
Got 'em.
That's why this
No.
is the perfect thing. This is the perfect metaphor for this movie because she is a sociopath, but
She
for
is.
some reason she is
But
not.
she just loves those
she's,
rats.
She's just fucking with these mice.
she's
willing
a
to
rat
put her
dom.
catness
She's-
aside.
yeah,
for that
she's
rat.
just ruining their brains and then letting them go.
Yep. Okay. Thanks for bringing us back to the movie.
We didn't have to come right back.
Yeah,
You know,
but
like-
she did it. She
I
did it
appreciate
for
that
us.
She did it. That's right. That's fair.
So I wanted to point out. So this is where I got really worried about this movie, and it actually saves itself, or it saves my specific worry, I should say.
Okay.
Is that so? First of all, she beats the shit out of this guy.
She knees him in the balls. She runs outside. Christian's already there.
Yep.
As is his murder ghoul.
Yep.
And he says, "Go." And the murder ghoul runs inside.
Yeah,
and
to
we
break his neck.
don't hear anything
Yeah,
else.
and he resigns. Big quotes. So he's probably dead.
It was. I 100% assumed he was dead at that point. Yeah.
So what I was scared of in this moment was that the previous scene, as you pointed out, is like, "Come live with me."
Right.
I was scared that this movie is telling women, "Don't work. It's scary."
That actually happens after this. I think I got the order wrong. He says that after this happens.
Now that's why
That
I was
is the
scared.
problem.
He
Yeah.
is like, "Don't work. Become a rich man's sex pet." But what the movie does do, to its credit,
Well, I mean, okay, I will say that is a job.
yeah, no, for sure.
It does seem exhausting to live with this man.
Yes.
You couldn't pay me enough money.
Yeah.
You could not pay me enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100K to show him my dick. We've established this, right?
What's the amount of retirement sex you're willing to have with this person? And by I mean they have to pay you off so you can retire, but you got to do the diligence, Dave.
Are we gonna? We should have done this episode 1. Are you asking how much money would it take each of us to go in that red room and just
let him pick?
Let him pick.
He gets to pick. How much money is that for you?
$30. No.
I pay him $30.
Yeah. I don't know, $1 million?
No, you're not doing it for $1 million.
Why not?
I promise you're not. Because you have to really think about it.
No, you're right. You're right. I would do it for $1 million, but for this guy, I would ask for a lot more because he's so rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, he's a sociopath. Like, you think, like, I might not come... They do the I can fix him trope wrong, where, like, that's a fantasy anyway, but it's in a lot of, like, romance novels and dramas and stuff that are geared towards fantasy, stuff that's not real. You can't change people.
So what's your number?
But they've done it successfully because in, like, a lot of K-dramas I've watched recently during the pandemic when I was lonely, where they just make the guy, like, shy and bad at social cues, or, like, he's afraid to express his feelings, or he doesn't know how, or they just give him a flaw that is not sociopathy, that is not sadism.
Yeah. Well, I also think that trading sadism for kinkiness was a huge mistake in this movie.
Yeah.
Huge mistake.
I mean, the kink community was very mad.
They should be.
For a good reason.
They should be mad. It completely supplanted what they were trying to do. What's your number, Hana?
Okay, so knowing what I know about this guy...
Yeah.
I'm gonna say $5 million and a house.
$5 million. Okay, so $5 million spending money
and a house in Los Angeles, which is probably another $5 million.
$250K. Are we bidding? Is this like a competition?
That's actually interesting if we like underbid each other.
Yeah. I don't,
because you went to 10 million, you went to 1, so now you got to beat 1, or else you're not getting your money.
Okay, we're in a relationship. I have to agree on that.
Oh, no, we can both. Yeah.
Is that part of your contract?
I don't know. No, we're fighting over this. No, you know what?
I'm afraid he doesn't make it out. He can do whatever he wants to do.
What, me?
Yes, you. I'm afraid that you don't make it out.
Hold on. Adam, what's your number?
Boy, this is chicken that I lose for sure. I'm not going under your $1 million. There's no way.
Yeah. No, we don't have to outbill.
Same fear for me.
I think it's
we didn't put a line on that.
Hold on.
I will respect that line.
Here's the question: is the scenario all three of us are lined up? Christian Grey is like, who's going in?
Yeah.
Or are we just talking about in a vacuum our individual prices?
When we first started,
I think it's more interesting that
if we eliminate the factor of our relationships and friendships.
That's what I mean. In a vacuum,
the fact that we worry about each other's safety.
Right. I just want to point out that in a vacuum, because that's how I was originally thinking of it, she said 10 million in a house, which is very 5 million in a house, which is very smart. I just said $1 million.
You said $1 million
because I'm a child.
That's
apparently.
Right. And that's how I was like, that number's too high. You'd go for much less.
I mean, that's. There are numbers you pick for sexual, like for doms that are not this man that could be much, much lower.
Right.
This guy is a fucking maniac.
He pays a lot because he can, is the idea. Yeah. I'm just going to say, if it's in a vacuum, I don't know what amount of money. I think the shame would kick in and have to go real high.
I'd say name a price, maybe.
Yeah, and then I think the shame would prevent me from doing it. I don't think I could do it. But I will say this: we're all full of shit. The number's lower. I don't know what it is, but it's lower. And I'll tell you another fucking thing. This game's way better when we all have to outbid each other.
Yeah,
way better.
True. And then it's like 50 cents, and it's like, wait, why are we doing this?
Like, I'll do it for free as long as Dave has to know about it.
All right. If you manage to get like a several $1 million life insurance policy on me, I will go in for less. I want someone to benefit from my lack of safety.
I can buy the policy.
So you added in the death situation?
Oh, he can't. Yeah, we're not like...
He's not going to murder you. Married. He has to come out.
Yeah, no. You're adding the level of like he's going to kill us.
I
think it's guaranteed safety.
I don't know. If it's guaranteed safety, then fuck it. Like $100K, I don't...
All right, now we're talking.
100K is a real number.
Yeah,
that's a real number. Yeah. I agree. My real number is higher than $1 million. I think for real. I think the shame is high.
For the idea of negotiations.
To be honest, if it was not him and I was single, my number would probably be just like $1,000.
But he's so
because
rich.
It's him. Yes, and not even just that he's so rich. He is a rich maniac.
To be honest, if I was single and it wasn't him.
If it was just some guy who wasn't
already
rich,
be doing that. I'd probably be doing it right now.
I mean, I'll be honest. If I didn't share a last name with a self-help guru who is my dad, I would be doing this as a job. Yes.
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but all right. So we're talking about the super rich guy, though. And I forget the meaning of this entire conversation.
We're talking about the indecent proposal level.
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, I guess.
You know, like rich guy buying your
Oh
morality
yeah, no.
here.
I mean, I would because I lowball people on my services regularly that are not sexual. I feel like I would go way too low. $1,000.
You'd accidentally lowball this rich guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he'd be like,
say
sure.
$1 million. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
I'd hope I'd have the presence of mind to go $1 billion, and him to go, all right, see ya, and I'd be like, okay, half of
all
$1
right,
billion.
$5.
Yeah. $5.
That's how it would go.
Yeah,
Dave.
you're right.
He chased him down. $1 billion. Okay, fuck you. All right, $5.
All right, but all right, I want to finish
Let's
this
be
thought.
honest. No, but let's be honest. This is more interesting than the movie has
Of
been.
course.
Okay.
Of course.
Want to make sure we get to that. Okay.
So what I wanted to get to is that, yeah, they seem to be setting up the idea that it's like she shouldn't work. She should just be his sex pet.
Yeah, that's all he's
But
ever wanted.
Then they immediately do something that I have to give the movie credit for, is that they course correct that idea, because I think they knew that wasn't what they wanted to get across. So they make her the new boss, and they make her become the new boss by her own merit. Right? Or at least we're pretty sure she asked Christian, did you pull some strings?
That never felt like her on merit. I
but I think
recognize
it's
that it could have
supposed to
been.
be in the movie.
The fact that
I don't know.
I think a lot of the problems that we're running into center around the idea of like separating fantasy porn from a movie. And you watch porn or read porn of a lot of things you would never do in real life, a lot of circumstances that wouldn't feel safe in real life. If you make that a mainstream movie, it's going to create a lot of problems. I've seen it done in TV shows and stuff, and I've seen it done in books better because there's a plot. But
Right.
yeah, no, erotic novels generally have some sort of plot.
Of course,
it might be
that's
thin,
what
but there's
hangs
a
it together.
Yeah.
plot.
I wrote down, to answer your question, Dave, I wrote down the entire publishing sequence only makes sense if you imagine the murder ghoul behind, like off screen with his, like in their backseat of their car.
Right, but so this is my theory of why I think the writer's intent was that she does this on her own merit. Because what happens is, so the boss is gone, he's been murdered.
Yeah,
Let's
been
just
buried
say
alive.
he's been murdered.
He's been buried alive. Yeah.
They're like, can you fill in for him in a meeting? Which is a weird idea to do, because it's like, I don't think, like, I'm glad they asked her, but like,
Sure.
she's his assistant, and they're like, just do him at the meeting, and his job is entirely different than hers. But no, never mind. No, I'm being unfair, because they set up that she vets the authors that he's looking
Yes,
at.
that's the one bit of planting and payoff.
Yeah.
Can I say, though,
I-
there's another whole qualified person they could have picked without any problems of nepotism
I know.
that
Who?
would have the other
woman,
Hana,
yeah.
I believe her name is Hana.
It's Hannah.
Hannah
I believe,
and
yeah.
Anna.
Hannah
Come on,
and
man.
Anna.
Oh, I know my name ruins people's brains.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm mad because they named the other
Oh,
office
Hannah and
person
Anna.
Hannah.
Yes.
Hannah
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Anna.
yeah.
The fuck?
But so what I want to know is that she sits down at this meeting and she pitches the genius idea of pursuing online authors, which just so happens to be what this author of the story is. And that's why I'm like, okay, this is clearly, they're trying, whether or not you believe it, what they're trying to present is the idea that Anna is wicked smart and can do her boss's job and comes up with a genius idea in the meeting, and they're all like, that's great. The idea is just, what if we pursue an online author? Which sounds like no shit.
How
Yeah.
could
But
a 2015 publishing company
Yeah.
not
I know.
that?
I
Get
mean,
out of here.
Well,
Devil's
Get
advocate,
out.
there is no, as from a screenwriter's perspective, if you are being as realistic as possible, I don't think there's an idea that you can come up with that would save the publishing industry, that the publishing
Of course
industry
not.
would sign up
Yeah.
on.
So you
sign off
don't
on.
do that.
No, you
Yeah.
know what you do? You have her,
That's what you don't
have her
do.
slip a piece of paper to the other guy. He reads it, and he's like, my God.
Yes.
Cut to everybody in a mansion.
Yes.
No, what she does is, listen, I've learned some business tactics from my boyfriend. Let's have this conversation at a different place. Move it to the bar. They're drunk and happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So they celebrate with restaurant sex. Well, she gives him her panties to celebrate.
Yes, and then they get in an elevator.
Yeah. I wrote elevator finger bang.
And I wrote orgy number 5.
Yeah.
Those two plus everyone in the elevator.
Everybody just starts. I wanted him to eat her underwear when she handed it to him.
In there.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been so good if they all do it.
It's just a rancid pile of bodies in there.
Ooh, damn it. On the subject of Hannah, she has a conversation with Hannah about how it's kind of weird now that she's the boss. And to reassure her that she's going to be fine, she says a line that really fucked with me. She says, "Listen, I don't expect you to get me coffee unless you're getting some for yourself." She adds that in there, which is a very funny way of phrasing that. Because I know what she means. Is like, as a friend, if you're out getting coffee,
just consider it.
But then
just
the next time she goes to get herself coffee, she's going to be like, wait, am I required to get her coffee too?
I don't know what she likes.
You're like, yeah, exactly. It'd be one thing to be like, look, I don't want you to get me coffee, period. Yeah. But it's, I don't want you to get me coffee. I mean, unless you're getting it yourself, then you got to buy me a cup of coffee. Like, it's such a weird
It'll be a
way
triple
to
mocha.
Phrase
Hold
that.
the whip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is when the movie, something happens in the movie.
Dude, this is astounding. This part of the movie is fucking astounding. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, I want you to.
So she goes home, right?
She goes home to. Oh no, we skipped a thing.
Oh no.
Okay, we skipped something because before that happens, after the elevator, like he has to take a business call. I don't know what the hell that actually was, but sure,
it's business.
Sure, I got a call, an urgent call from business. I got to take it. So they have a pool table scene, right? And in the pool table scene, he's like, what are you, some kind of shark, basically? And she's like, let's make a bet. Here's the bet, the terms of the bet.
Yeah.
If I win, you take me into the red room. If you win, you take me into the red room. Like, the bet was like...
Right. She just wants to go in the red room.
Right. And it was like, do you not know how bets work? Like, you bet for a thing you want. What do you... Like, what?
The red room at this place, at this point in the film, is like when you sleep over a friend's house and they have a Super Nintendo, and you're just waiting to get that thing turned on. But you don't want to just say, I want to play your Super Nintendo.
Like, again, this is another moment where she's not smart enough. Because, like, she should have bet him for, like, chest scar privileges.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or bet him a fucking helicopter of her own. Or whatever.
Right.
Bet for something you want. What? Like,
she just wants the red room.
You're accepting this too easily, Dave. And it infuriates me. Go ahead.
So she walks in her apartment, and there is the John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick's there. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, here she is. Same old
right.
gun. She pulls out a fucking gun.
It was really dumb.
Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, we have a movie now.
Right. Not a good one, but a movie. Yeah.
Spoilers, we don't have a movie because of this scene. But she fires the gun in the apartment.
She does. She's mad because it's clear to her being what's the woman's name? Leela?
Yeah.
Layla? Something like that.
Yeah.
It's clear to her that Anna matters to Christian, but she never did.
Yes.
That's why she's murder
She
mad.
says a haunting thing. She says, I love him. We all do.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, fuck.
Perfect.
Is this like Scott Pilgrim? Is she going to have to fight all the old subs?
That would be a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That would be a movie.
I wrote down, this is the first thing that has happened.
Yep.
In the entire series.
Yeah, this is when I looked up from my phone.
Yeah, exactly. This is the first time a thing happened.
Yeah.
And boy, he really fucked this woman up, huh? She's holding a gun. He comes up because she fired the gun in the air, probably threw into the next apartment.
Yeah.
There's probably like a dead dog up there now, but whatever.
Probably a dead rat.
Yeah.
This is the moment where it's an actual crime that Christian's RKO doesn't reappear here. He doesn't just zip in there and stun her. Like, that's what should have happened.
Yeah.
Just knock her the fuck out,
no.
you know?
Instead, he tells her to sit. Well, he says kneel.
Right.
Like he's going to knight her.
Or like he's going to execute her, which would have also been interesting.
Yeah, we would have had a movie.
Yes, we would have.
And as he gives her pets. And he takes the gun away.
He gives her pets.
Yeah. And the next scene isn't Anastasia leaving him.
Yeah.
It's not that.
It's just her walking for a while.
At this point, we've gotten into her appease version of fight or flight.
Right.
In which that's...
Oh, it's worse than that, though.
It's
because the next scene is a rain montage.
Yeah.
And she's looking sad, and you think like she's fucked up about the situation. And she goes to him and she says, "She scared you, but you scared me more. I'm scared I'll never be able to be that obedient." And it's like, wow, so you're already in the cult.
She's Marge Simpson. She's that's as mad as she ever gets about anything.
Like you think at this point, like she's so into it that she saw this woman pull a gun out and him pet her, and she
vagina
thought
beads to her.
Well, this is what happens when you dress up like fantasy porn as anything else.
Yeah. But that's the reveal of
because
that rain montage.
Yeah, the whole point of that porn is like it can be stuff that's problematic in society and really fucked up, and it's not real.
Right.
It's
I don't
not
know
stuff
what
that you
this.
would
All I
actually
can say is that montage
do.
went on for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
did you assume she was contemplating how fucked up the thing
was?
Was?
The thing.
Yeah.
That's
You
what the
assume
movie trope
she's like, am I safe? Is she safe? Am I safe from her?
Yeah, she doesn't care about
am
that
I
woman at
safe
all.
from
constantly baiting
anyone?
and switching, though. That's what this is like, and it's not just him. The writers are constantly baiting and switching. Like, you think the emotion is this, it's actually this other thing, and then they just kind of like, they know in a sort of Trumpy way, if I just keep carrying on, you'll go with me.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're kind of right. It's
Yeah.
like,
The movie
right.
plows
I mean, the
forward.
movie that this is actually what it's like to date a compulsive liar. I
No thanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were
Pass.
mentioning that he keeps changing the venue and stuff. That feels like a tactic.
The movie is gaslighting us in a
no
way
doubt.
that an abuser would, because the emotion keeps changing up randomly, and you just have to. It's too much for your brain to process. So your natural instinct is to just roll with it, even though like you have an instinct that this is bad.
Yeah.
There's too much happening,
You
and
just can't stop it.
You
It's
can't.
like an avalanche of sorrow.
And
Yeah.
every time you think you
It's a
know
train
what
with no
it's
brakes.
doing,
Yeah.
Every time you think you know what it's doing, you're wrong. Or it changes the thing.
Is this in tone or out of tone to you during the walking montage if they put on the song from Midnight Cowboy, but it's a soft rock cover of it?
that would have been so good.
Everybody's
talking at me, but it's really like moody or something.
Oh, yes.
So in tone, right?
Yeah.
They could have done that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, just pointing that out. Could have
So
done it.
now we get the realization that all of his subs look the same. Specifically, they.
He identifies
So-
the psychoses here.
Yeah.
He
so
puts a name
basically,
to it. Yeah.
like this is where it just starts. It's like a fire hose of nonsense, and I couldn't keep up because I'm still processing the fact that what happened with his sub, and that like she was sad that she wasn't submissive enough. She's
That's
she's
such
too
a baffling
independent. Damn
thing.
it.
Right.
And then he's like, by the way, you and all my subs look like my dead mom anyway. And it's like, wait a fucking
I know that's
second.
fucked up, and I'm working on it. And that's where I'm like, how are you working on it?
Yes.
Show me the therapy bills.
This is the
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah. Show it to me.
No, this
You
is
know?
how he's working on it.
Right, exactly.
So he says
that's
he
right.
gets off on punishing women. He uses the term punishing women who look like his dead mother who OD'd. And that's everybody's problem. That's the
Yeah.
world's problem.
I know that I'm in one, and that's why I'm even here. But this movie is an indictment of straight relationships.
Wait, why is that why you're here?
Just because we live together, and this is your podcast.
I mean, yeah. I'm single, and I'm starting to look like the smart one around this table. That's all I'm saying.
No, I
That's
agree.
fair.
I look. We're happy. I agree.
I promised her that an old submissive wasn't ever going to show up with a gun. I did promise her that.
Okay.
And I
You gonna be able to
intend
keep that promise?
keep it for the most part.
Because
yeah.
at least kill these people and bury them, and don't like kind of.
Yeah,
not-
you kill them.
Yeah,
you
you
kill
have
them.
to kill
Don't
them.
immediately
even
after.
absolutely.
put that in.
What?
Love you.
Don't even put that plan in there.
In my brain.
This is common sense, bro. This is the only way to take care of this problem.
All right. So he.
Sorry, do you not want me to hit this joke any
no,
harder?
no, it's fine.
No.
It's
Look,
fine.
look. This
Did you
is
not want me to beat this joke?
No,
with a
it's-
dead-
this is my problem over decades and decades of dealing with men.
Because
Yeah.
I have a ton of murdering my sub jokes written down, Dave. I have a whole,
No, do it.
No.
whole
No, do
bit
it.
on that.
Do it.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
That's all I had. I did think the moment that he said he was a sadist was very funny because it was sort of like, if I just rewritten it, it was very like, I've been doing some research and what I'm into, it's not really kink.
Yeah.
It's really just, I'm
really
just really a psycho.
But a bad
That's
guy.
what it is.
I'm just a
kind of
bad person.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so she doesn't immediately leave after learning that
No.
she looks like his mother and that's why he wants to punish her.
She takes a shorter walk from the bed to a window.
Yes.
You know?
He goes to sleep. He has Anakin Skywalker nightmares. He goes,
it was very funny to me. It was because as soon as she left the bed, it was like his body was like, host missing, engage nightmare.
Yeah.
Like his body started flopping. It was stupid.
Yeah. And then he says in his sleep, I want you to marry me.
Do I do that still?
What?
Marry people in your sleep?
No. Do I have like nightmares where I talk?
Yeah, you talked last night, but not like Anakin Skywalker
Did
nightmares
she say
where you go,
intelligible
no,
words?
Padme. Yeah, she said it was too hot in your sleep. And you actually, so last night you carried on the, God, I wish I remembered it at the time and I was like, I have to remember this. You said a full sentence in your sleep that was another side of an argument. With, I hope not me.
You're getting in an argument in your sleep.
Yes, you were having an argument.
Did it sound like she was winning it?
No, I'm sorry.
So
No, I don't win the arguments in my sleep. I usually lose, and then people take control of my body. This is trauma. They are trying to demonstrate his trauma in a very terrible way that honestly, it's unreal that this even happens to me, because that's not like on the checklist of
I have
symptoms.
a little advice for you. I have
I'm
a little
just
advice
crazy.
for you about this. I have a little advice for you. Make sure that the last thing you think about before sleep is Pokemon Snap. Because as soon as you do that, you're gonna come in nuclear hot into those sleep arguments. You're gonna come in with a bomb ready to blow it up.
Oh, I play video games in my sleep all the time too. That's just a thing that we all do now.
The argument felt like it was like an argument with like a family member or something. It was a very mundane. What you said was, this is why I wanted to remember it, but I can't. It was a very mundane argument you were having. Like that's what I remember.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's
what you guys don't know is that as soon as we turn off the podcast, we're gonna map out the stream.
Of course,
that's what we're gonna do. That's the
I
rest
need
of this
to know.
Night is gonna be mapping out the stream.
Right.
I don't remember this.
You seem like you're in a hurry.
Well, no,
We're
I just
gonna do
realized
that.
how many fucking notes I have.
All right.
That's why I'm like, oh my God, I keep scrolling down.
I feel like it's like, I don't know what podcast you think we're doing, but it's the one where we don't hurry.
I know.
Yeah. But okay, if I've also had the thing where
I'm gonna get up and get some more water while you keep going.
Mad.
I'm not mad. I'm actually more like, full of fucking energy.
Okay, Dave's getting
you go get
idea,
water.
Randy.
It's
All
like
right.
the feeling of like I don't have to pee, but this is the energy I have when I'm doing a podcast.
I've also had the thing where someone talks to you like a one night hookup, and someone talks to you while they think you're asleep, but you're just trying to fall asleep, and that is terrifying.
Wait, so you slept with a person, you're staying over,
yes,
and you're almost asleep. They are asleep or they're not asleep?
they're not asleep.
So they're talking to you. They're like trying to share
talking
their
to you
feelings.
because
How do you
they
do that to
think
me?
you're asleep. What do I do that to you? How?
Yes, when I'm like going to bed. Well, listen, this isn't something I'm bothered by, but I'll be like eyes shut, and you'll be like, "Look at this thing I saw online," and I'm like, what? Like you've done that to me a few times.
No, that's different. I didn't realize you were asleep yet, and I'm trying to.
But that's not
get
like
you to
heart
look at it.
sharing, right? Where you're like
no.
obligated to stay up for it.
No, like sometimes I'll say I love you or whatever, and maybe
She'll
you'll
get
hear
ranty
it.
at
But
night a little bit. Like you're like Kitten, where you get this like burst of energy at like 2 a.m. sometimes, and then you run around the house.
That's interesting. What are you doing at 2 in the morning?
No, not at 2 a.m. But you know what I mean. Like you'll bring up something that's like way more intense of a conversation.
Yeah. I usually
At,
get
like,
really
1
mad at
a.m.
my mother around like midnight.
She sure
there's
does.
there's an hour of the night where it hits
Yeah.
you. Yeah, where it strikes you.
And it's like I'm like on my way down, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to listen for that. I'm just venting.
Oh, honey.
And you get mad at...
I try, but I know.
No,
you
if
know what the deal is.
I know if I need you to listen to that shit, I have to be like, hey, listen.
Dave
pinch
gets
my
I
mad
have to
at
be
Yeah.
that fucking
Dave gets mad at
thing
George Lucas
in
around 3 in the
Zelda.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah. So that's kind of their timetable. 3 in the afternoon is off limits for podcasting. That's the George Lucas hate hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the magic hour.
Yeah, absolutely. So should we finish this bullshit movie?
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, why are you apologizing? This is
Adam's
more entertaining than the movie.
Yeah,
is.
Adam's right. This is the format.
Like, can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? Like in the middle of our last podcast, it occurred to me like these movies just aren't as fun as Twilight. Like they're just not as fun.
No,
like because nothing happens and there's no stupid vampire shit to talk about.
Right.
Well,
something's gonna happen soon.
Okay, great. Let's get to it.
I feel like this is also an indictment of the porn industry for not catering to women.
No, I
and
agree.
It's gotten
that's a
better.
fair comment.
It's gotten better, and
but this
it's
isn't
gotten...
porn. This is a motion picture.
But the book was kind of like fanfic /
Right.
it towed the line. It was like, light emotional.
Like
I
Danielle
think
Steele.
You're right
Yeah.
that it's you're right that it's mostly women, but I also think it's an indictment of how we think of porn, which is that it's so taboo that this is like porn for people who aren't allowed to watch porn.
Yes.
Not necessarily by like anybody not allowing them. It's like
It's a
not allowing
societal
themselves.
thing.
I thought this was like this felt like porn that was focused group by people who don't like the thing they're making.
Maybe.
That's how it felt to me.
I mean that too, because it's a movie.
It just didn't seem like it knew what was sexy about the idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like this isn't my kind of thing. Like this is not my brand of porn.
Sure.
But like I understood it wasn't sexy immediately when I was watching it. Every
Right.
time
Yeah.
there's been a sex scene.
Well, there's
Yeah.
also no
There wasn't a
chemistry
single-
between the actors whatsoever. There's no
There wasn't
You
a
know, if
single
you- if
like
you're-
Simpsons character, not a single Simpsons character in this.
Yeah. No tentacles.
there were no wax figurines
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
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 There was no multicolored baseball gloves. None of that shit.
No, this is the
I agree.
I think that porn has gotten somewhat better, but I think to navigate a porn site in the first place, you have to kind of let go of a lot of internalized sexism, and to learn how to find what you actually want on those sites, you have to really navigate some tough search parameters in which, a lot of stuff is geared towards dudes,
It's
gay or
totally-
straight. It's for dudes.
Totally.
The Reddit term for it is post-nut clarity. Have you heard that?
Oh my god,
And
it's such
as
a thing. I totally understand.
Yeah,
that.
applying to porn, it's this moment afterwards where you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Did
I gotta
do
get
this?
out. It's like you're
Yeah.
in a crime scene suddenly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Seinfeld had that great joke about it, right? Where where Elaine's telling the Virgin. Now, the thing you have to be aware of is how they want to get out of there the moment it's over. It's like they committed a crime and they got to hit the road.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everyone gets that with porn because it's, like I said, people watch stuff they wouldn't necessarily do.
100%. That's the idea. Yeah. Anyway, all I can say is the movie decides to up the ante after the nightmare sequence by him kind of being asleep and saying, "Marry me."
Yes, he says it. He says in his sleep, and this is where I wrote like, "Why are you in this at this point?" And the movie answers the question by cutting to her just smirking and watching him work out. And it was like, okay, so that's
That
it.
was an
That's all
honest
you're
answer.
getting.
Yeah, that was
it's
an honest answer.
answer from Anastasia. As she loves the D.
I feel like they tried.
She was a virgin before she met this guy.
I don't think they were.
Right.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, so she doesn't know.
She doesn't have a
what else there
baseline for
is.
normalcy.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
So we also learn at this point that she's apparently
Also,
pals with
where's
his...
her family? Like, I didn't see the
Good
first
question. One I raised in the last episode.
Oh, yeah, her
she
family-
doesn't have a family.
No, her mom shows up in that one and then just like leaves the movie
The dad
and then
doesn't
that's it.
show up at all.
Yeah.
one. Oh, okay.
It's the same if you
It's
watch
Twilight.
Twilight
So
does this
she
too.
has the Twilight absolutely does this, and that that the mom is absolutely completely absent, and the dad just doesn't check in with
Yeah.
her or do anything.
It removes
He's
it's,
just
it's,
there.
It's part of
physically.
like the culty aspect of both this and Twilight, which is like removing her friends, her family.
Yeah, and
And then it
if
slowly
you
just
don't
becomes
have
ham.
that to begin with, or if that is skewed in any way, then your idea of normal is going to be kind of clouded
Right.
or healthy. I
So-
don't want to say normal because what's normal, but your idea of healthy is very clouded.
I don't
So
know why the fuck Mia and Anna are pals.
Okay, yeah,
it
that
makes
was my
no
question.
sense to me at
Is
all.
she's
Yeah.
like gets a call from the sister and it's like, hey, we're friends, and it was like, you are? Like the movie doesn't do
Right.
that work.
Not at all.
No.
But Twilight also did that.
Yeah.
Twilight would also pair people off suddenly. You'd be
Yeah.
like, what?
Because when
When
are
are they friends?
again, they don't know that they can go back and add scenes or change scenes. And so they just are like, oh, by the way, she's friends with the sister.
Can you imagine they're in the hallways at Paramount or whatever, and they're just walking by some other director like Spielberg or somebody, and he's like, you could have just added a scene where they met and they were friends. Oh my God.
Really? Yeah.
Oh my God. Then Act 3 began. Act 3, the meetings. Act 3, jobs. Right? He has to take a work. What was he doing? He's flying over Mount St. Helens.
So here we fucking go.
For what?
So he has
Dinosaurs,
to go
right?
to Portland for business.
Like they literally have the Island Nublar shot.
Yes.
Where he's there. I'm like, is there going to be fucking dinosaurs?
So he gets in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And then finally something happens. The helicopter goes down.
Crashes.
For no reason. The engine just bursts into flames.
It's a chopper fire.
Wait. Okay.
Now, hold on.
Wait. I have a theory. Christian Grey, terrible name.
Yes, they're all terrible.
Is D.B. Cooper reliving his glory days?
Sure. That's as good as any other theory. Here's what the movie could have done. Here's what a good movie would have done.
I'm ready for it.
That scorned ex sabotages the helicopter. She's already John Wick.
Oh.
They establish she can get into places.
He
says like, why? How is she getting in the garage? How is she getting in the house? Give her a reason. We learn that she's ex-military. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And have her sabotage.
That would have been good.
That would have been good because it plays off the stuff in the plot. But instead, they're literally flying, and the helicopter just decides to crash.
The helicopter decides to crash, and it looks like something that would have gotten cut from Xena.
Yes.
Warrior Princess.
Now,
or TNG. It's a TNG crash.
Yeah. At
It's
this
real
point,
dumb.
old naive Dave was like, what an amazing turn of events. Despite the fact that it makes no sense, the helicopter's diving through the trees. It's ramped up, and I thought, like, oh my God, is it going to end with him lost in the woods? And is part 3 going to be her having, like fucking, like Anthony Hopkins in The Edge, have to go out and fight bears and shit? Or, like, will it be like, where is Christian Grey? All these ideas. She's sitting there, they're watching the news, and I'm like, oh my God, this is how it's going to end. That's such a good... No, he's fine.
It was insane that he just
He's
walked
fine.
through the door.
No explanation.
He's walked through the door as the news.
As the news is
like
like,
saying he's
just
fine.
now we found he's okay.
My brain filled in the blanks like, did you see, I know you saw it, there's a Bob's Burgers episode where there's a seaplane pilot who intentionally tries to crash planes.
I've not seen it.
He pretends to crash planes and
you
to
think Christian
seduce
Grey,
bored housewives.
because he is with a lady in
now
that helicopter.
I'm thinking he does it to gaslight Anna.
Maybe. Well, it's to gaslight us.
It's to gaslight everybody.
Because it's to make us feel...
movie, its purpose in the movie is to gaslight the audience.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Because it's, again, them being like, look how great Christian Grey is compared to everything else. Aren't you scared? He might have died. Like, they're trying to make us worried about him. But it needs to be said that the span between the helicopter crashing and him walking in fine...
8 hours? Maybe.
Of the movie, though. How many minutes of the movie would you say?
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
it was the kind of thing that would have been an entire movie plot.
Yeah. I mean,
in most movies.
Yeah, he's D.B. Cooper. He's done this before,
right.
Under dubious, crazy, weird, dumb circumstances.
I do like cracked explanations for this. I do, because it is incomprehensible in the timeline here. But I will say, like, it would have been a good opportunity to just like do a Force Awakens with the third one, where it's like he's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, and then he shows back up in her life.
Yeah.
And he's
a year
different.
later.
And he's different.
Yeah, and he's different. That would have been really interesting.
No, but none of that.
If he has amnesia and forgets that he's a horrible guy,
that would be cool too.
That's an idea.
Honestly, and then he keeps like wanting
Why
to
not?
whip things and doesn't know why.
Yeah.
But no.
and
the movie
turns it
does
into
none
like
of
a
that.
healthy kink instead of like I want to see women feel pain who look like my mother.
It's just
Right.
it's just the last half of Clockwork Orange. He
Yeah.
just anytime he goes into the room, he just gets sick for
Gets
reasons he
sick,
doesn't
yeah.
understand.
No, but I really
Yeah.
need to stress this. That helicopter scene, how much do you think it cost to make?
The helicopter.
It's not doesn't look great, but it's probably cost them.
Yeah,
it's probably their biggest thing.
It's
that
definitely the biggest set piece.
Right.
No
Yeah.
question.
Here's
So
Here's why I like the D.B. Cooper theory. He is rich as fuck, and I like the idea of him being a secret old. Like it makes sense because
wait,
he
did
keeps.
you say a secret old?
Yes, it makes
A
sense.
vampire? Would you say?
Oh man,
I would have been thrilled if that other woman hadn't shown back up.
That would,
because that would have been like something happened.
He ate her.
Those,
He ate her to survive.
He alived her.
Yeah.
No, but this is, I guess what I'm getting at is this movie spent a lot of money on this thing happening that has no effect on the plot. None at all.
None at all. All I will say is that if
I don't understand what the emotional
is secretly super old, it makes sense that he keeps buying her laptops.
Right. That's fair.
Fair enough.
No, but the emotional aspect. She already wants to marry him. They're not they're not fighting.
Right.
She's not, it doesn't redeem him in a way.
Right. It's arbitrary third act.
It's like they were like, we need something to up the stakes, and that we have 5 minutes to do it. And someone threw that out there.
He gets jobbed in a helicopter.
Editing doesn't exist. Like, you can't go back and change things you've already written.
Again, you don't set it up.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was in the movie. I genuinely can't think of what they were thinking.
I don't know either.
By spending that much money to put a helicopter crash. We're not exaggerating.
Bad helicopter crash.
It cuts to the helicopter going down. It cuts to her talking like with her friends. They go, "Oh my God, look at the news." And they're looking at the news. It cuts to her with the family, and they're all sitting there. And she says
crying.
Yeah, and her mom says "I'm glad you're part of the family," which could happen at any moment.
It could happen in the next sequence.
Yes,
of the proposal announcement stuff.
Yeah, and then the news says this just in. He's fine, and he walks through the door, and the movie continues, and it doesn't change who he is. It doesn't change who she is. Nothing changes in the plot.
I think it's to prove that the yes that she was giving him was not based on the crash they created.
Okay, I have one other theory.
I think that's why.
I have one other theory, and if this is true, then they did a bad job.
Yeah.
Someone did sabotage that plane or that helicopter. We're gonna find out. But then you need a scene where he says, then you need a scene where he says, "I don't understand what happened. The helicopter was fine.
Right.
Why did it?" They don't draw attention to it.
They could easily do that in a line of dialogue while they're ordering wine at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And,
or in the helicopter. Him saying, "I don't know what's going on with the helicopter."
That's what they'd have done if it was good. I'm saying there's a bad version of it they could still do.
Normally, when movies are adapted from books, I think, oh, this must have been explained in the book, and they just didn't have time. But I don't think that's
Let me ask you this, Dave.
Here.
After the helicopter crashed, if we just hung on them a little bit, and he gets out of the helicopter, and he says, "And now we play the most dangerous game." You like this movie better or worse?
Yes.
I would have loved to see a scene of him.
It's character consistent.
Yeah. I would have liked to see a scene of him getting rescued. He gets rescued off camera.
He just strolls to the door, still dirty. They don't even shower his ass.
Right.
I think we're finding out he doesn't take showers.
He showers in his clothes after this, right?
Or she's still in her clothes. He pulls her into the shower with her clothes on.
Okay. But yeah,
he doesn't take showers. Just to be clear, he does not take showers.
No.
He's got the same lipstick from last time.
He does. This is what we learned. Yeah. But
I'm sorry, Dave, please.
I could do a whole podcast just on these 5
this
minutes.
helicopter crash. It's bananas.
It is the most bananas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's just information overload, no explanations. This is what it is like to date someone like that.
You're right, because
that's
interesting.
It's almost, that's a cool point.
You keep it's unintentional, but you keep asking these questions of like, what's his motivation? If his motivation was this, why would he risk this? Why would and you just keep going in these internal cycles while you stay where you are because you don't know what's going on.
It's also this, it's a razzle dazzle tactic where, like, I've seen this before, where it's like, oh, I was bit by a dog, and it's like, really? Where's the bite mark? It's like, you can't see it, and it's like a distraction, and it suddenly is like, it's about this now. And that's what the movie's almost doing, is it's like resetting us by being like, helicopter crash. All right, anyway. And it's
it feels like it's distracting us from it being a movie. Like it's like it's constantly waving the top hat in front of us, but never pulling out a rabbit.
No,
never.
But it's distracting us from the last fucked up thing it did. Because I don't even care that she looks like his mother anymore.
Right.
Like I'm just like, what is this?
Well, that's what I'm
it's a
saying
Trump
about
tweet
these
storm is what it is.
relationships.
The whole movie's a Trump tweet storm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about these relationships. America kind of had one with Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you
where
have
it's
to.
just like you can't. If there's too much.
Yes, you have to
throwing
break
too much
everything
at
down.
you, and
For real.
you feel helpless.
Remember when we had like 3 days on shithole countries?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, I can't believe you fucking said that. And like then
but it keeps
another
piling up.
Yeah. He called Mexicans rapists on day 1, and we didn't
I know
stay
it,
on
man.
that because he said a new horrible thing 5 seconds, probably within that speech.
Right.
Yeah, I know it, man. It's for real, dude.
But like, goddamn, what if it was movie ended? Next movie, he wakes up in the helicopter crash. Anastasia is like putting on her boots, and they're like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "I'll be back with Christian." And that's the fucking movie. We have a movie.
Yeah.
It starts with her shaving her head.
Yes.
First, like she does shaves her head.
And then they find each other in the woods.
Puts on war makeup.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the first thing they do is he spanks her.
It's
and
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. Straight to the kinky sex.
He just finds Christian Grey and he's all scarred up and it's like, like half lit his face and he's like, Roz was a grocery clerk.
That's what I want. So he's rescued off camera. None of that matters.
When the helicopter went down, I was there for the whole thing.
Oh, it'd be so good.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Colonel Kurtz did.
Oh, that would be. Oh my god.
Christian Grey as Colonel Kurtz.
Why not?
Thrilled with that idea.
She bought him a Seattle keychain that has the word yes on it.
Which
she reveals
that is the reason the scene actually exists.
Yeah,
because she gives it to him before he goes in the helicopter ride. So it's to prove the helicopter didn't change my mind.
Right, but didn't need a helicopter crash.
Yeah, that doesn't.
To get that across.
He could also just gone canoeing for a week and the same message would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, you could prove literally anything he does didn't change my mind. You could take an earlier scene because everything he does is batshit.
Yeah. That's right.
You could just take the last horrible thing he did.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're getting married.
They agree to marriage.
Yes. He proposes 6 times.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
He keeps asking her to. Like the last one in the menagerie, he's just like, will you? Yes.
Yeah. And it's like,
marry me. Rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yes.
I already said yes. You announced it to our family already.
Put the ring on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man.
They have closed shower sex. Then they celebrate by doing some red room shit.
Can I ask one question?
Sloppily drips oil on her.
I just want to track. I want to track the major red flag points where she should have really worried. I think him walking in at the moment where the newscaster is saying that he is rescued is, if it's me, I'm like, how can this not be a setup?
Right, because
that's a natural question.
Me too, but I also think that sometimes someone is so unpredictable that you just keep asking yourselves these questions.
There's always trauma reasons why she wouldn't do it, but the thing I want to say is even within the logic of the movie, because sometimes she does make intuitive connections about, so wait a minute, do I have a dossier? Those kind of things.
They do this thing where they try.
Smart,
it's part of gaslighting the audience.
Right.
Is they do these moments where she's like, wait a minute. See, I'm skeptical, and therefore, it's okay.
Yeah.
And they do that often, which again is very gaslighty.
It is.
Yeah.
Where it's
and they do it so poorly because it's
they do it impotently. They make it every one of her questions is impotent.
As little effort as possible. Yeah. It's like a grift that a salesman is doing, and they have a plant in the audience.
I feel like this movie will
Hana has her head in her hands.
Hana would rather search for rats than continue talking about this movie.
I would. I'm going to look for that nest. I will find that nest.
You're my little rat catcher.
I will find that nest. Yeah. I'm the rat catcher.
And then you're going to eat them. You're going to eat those rats.
I am the rat catcher.
She's going to put their heads in a necklace as a warning to all the rest of them. Which I respect. That's how you fucking send a message in Rat Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, I put their balls on a necklace because they're just so disgusting.
Yeah.
But also,
tie their tails together.
You put their balls on a necklace?
I would.
No, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I've never
She's like, what do you think Thursday was?
I was like,
Dale?
hold on.
Yeah.
No.
Remember how I was gone all last Thursday?
I've only ever touched rat balls by accident.
Yeah, my friend had male rats.
I've never touched rat balls.
If you have male rats,
if you have male rats, it's going to happen.
Privilege on my part.
If you have male rats, you will know what it's like to have balls on your face.
Yeah,
that is just going to happen.
Sounds like a thing I can avoid mostly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was we we got rats as kids, and we our parents were like, no female rats, they might be pregnant, and we thought they were their butts. That's how big they are.
They're huge.
They're
just giant mounds?
Giant sacks.
Yeah,
Are they just like full of semen? Or are they just like stocked?
I don't know. I've never checked.
That's their
like
evolutionary
camel semen?
strategy. That's the whole thing about rats is that
It's a
they
fire hose?
breed like crazy,
Yeah.
and most of them die off. The reason they survive
All that cum.
is
in
our
terms of
evolutionary
scale-
strategy is breeding very little, but being smart enough to navigate.
I've heard it the most is pig cum, and if you'd like to know how I know that, I watch Jackass Forever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
A movie
yeah.
we could also talk about someday.
Lots of pig
Dave.
cum in that.
Yes, yes.
Rats. It's for scale. It's imagine having another set of a set of balls the size of your own head. That's pretty much what that is. That's
It
the
is.
scale
It
for
is.
rat
That's the
balls.
scale.
Great.
Yeah.
That's now. Guess we'll be having the automatic nightmares tonight.
Just
Just
Google it.
wake up alone in my fucking my manor. You know, like
All right.
marry me. Nobody will be there.
We're almost done.
I know we're
Because
almost done, but I need to make a point here. I'm sorry. I need to
Okay.
I need to drag our heels. They invited Jose to that weep and watch party.
did they?
Yes,
What the?
Jose was there.
You're right. Wait, hold on. Was it because I know they're having dinner with Jose when she finds out about it? Is the idea that then they're like, we have to go watch the news. Jose, I guess you can come. Like, is it that?
I know. I don't remember exactly. So
I think it might be
getting the scenes
awkward.
mixed up. I might be getting them mixed up. But I did notice that he mends the fences with Christian.
Okay, yeah.
And I think it's in that scene because I don't think he's at the
Right.
the party, like the party.
Also, did you flag that scene as another orgy?
Of course I did. That
Yeah.
was number 7.
Post helicopter crash
That
orgy?
was number 6. Christian, Anna, and Jose.
Yeah.
While he's mending fences, like Christian has like a nice little pat on his back, like, you know, good to see you. And I was like, just let that hand linger, bro.
Yeah.
You're alive now.
Why not?
You're alive.
Okay.
Want to feel life coursing back in you?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he does.
We haven't mentioned that the writer realized that it needs to be Christian's birthday party and has the sister mention it in a scene before.
All right.
It's like, by the way, it's Christian's birthday. And it's like, oh, okay.
And she
could have
feels
set
bad.
that up, but
Yeah.
no.
Well,
So-
I think it's supposed to be like we don't even know when the other one's getting married or getting birthdayed, but we're gonna get married.
right.
know.
We cut to the birthday party after the sloppy oil sex.
Yes, oil sex.
The housekeeper
That was not
wants-
hot. Oil
No.
sex was not hot.
No, he's like drizzling it on her like she's a ham.
Every
it was the
single
wrong shots.
Every
Yeah.
single sex scene in this was like Cosmo advice from the 90s. It
Yeah,
was
Sex
just
in the City.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
from people who have never fucked in their lives.
It felt like a scene that would have been Miranda would have been in it. With
Yeah.
Sex
Yeah,
in the City.
it's like
you know?
Cosmo was always like, whipped cream and shower sex, and
yeah,
it's
9.5
just like
weeks.
a billion
Yeah.
things that are uncomfortable, impractical, and stupid.
Yeah.
I think the reason they cast Kim Basinger is because this movie loves 9.5 weeks. So
I think
much.
that's stunt casting for
Yeah.
sure.
Like that's clearly what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
So the housekeeper wants to plow him. With this
I
is
mean,
where
The
we get-
housekeeper, the look on the housekeeper's face.
Is that
or
the same
server,
woman from?
It's not the same woman. It's just a different person who
Who
walks
wants
up
to
like,
plow.
"Happy birthday," in a way that's like, "How is this woman not fired?" That's
Right.
wild.
You think Anastasia would be like, "What the fuck is this?" Like
Or-
immediately.
Or orgy
Or-
number 7.
Yeah. Orgy number
number
7.
7. Yeah. So
Mrs. Robinson shows up.
yeah, she really does.
She is full on Joker. She's full on villain.
Yeah,
she
full-on
says
sex
to-
Joker.
She corners Anastasia at the birthday party and says, "I see you heated our little talk." And it's
Heated.
like, yeah,
You
it's
heated
like,
it.
you are a villain. Anastasia throws her drink in her face. Christian shows up and says, "You taught me how to fuck. She taught me how to love." Meanwhile, his mom, it's like this trail of shit.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Airplane where they're all taking turns slapping the lady.
Yes, it felt very much like the slap montage in Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Just like one after the other.
Yeah. So he tells her off. The mother overhears, and
Get out of my house.
I assume, I assume that's the first. It's news to her, and she's like, she slaps her, and it's like, "Get the fuck out of my house." The other thing we haven't mentioned this whole time is that I think it's at this party actually. So
I'm ready.
someone takes I think it's at the ball. Somebody takes a photograph on their phone of a photograph on the wall
Of a portrait of their family. And
Yes.
it's like, that was probably on Facebook, bro.
Yes.
What are we
but that's
doing?
what happens.
Yeah.
So someone is on like the stairs, and they
Yeah.
take a picture of a portrait.
That fucking squirrel.
That was not a squirrel.
That was not a squirrel?
No.
Is it a wrap?
Yes.
God damn it.
I want you to know we're in Dishonored, the video game Dishonored,
okay.
where the rats are going to start munching people in clouds. Like, that's going to happen.
If this ends by us getting murdered by rats,
all we did was get a bird feeder. There's shit everywhere.
The ultimate fucking sin.
It's like a fucking siren for rats.
Yeah. We're gonna get dudes out there. It's just naked dudes eating from it.
They're gonna be chatting all over the place and eating those rats like they're fucking hand
That's what
rolls.
comes next. Yeah.
That's what's gonna be happening.
So this is where I
we're gonna get
poster.
diabetes. One person watches Drag Race, they'll laugh.
Okay.
Yep.
Indoor pool, flower pool proposal. He announces to the family they're getting married.
Yeah.
So proposal, fireworks go off, and the next thing I just need to know is the fucking right before the credits.
Yes.
So we cut to, is that the boss?
That was Jack, yeah. Buried alive Jack.
That's
buried
why he looked
alive
all dirty.
Jack.
Yes,
He looked
looking
all dirty.
real dirty.
Yeah, he was buried
watching
alive.
the fireworks.
Yeah.
And he takes out the photograph, and I believe he puts a cigarette out on it.
On his face. On Christian's face.
Christian's face. So I just want to note that means that Jack went to the party,
hung out, got a picture, developed it.
Yeah, made sure no one saw him.
Yeah.
Took a picture on his phone.
Yep, developed it.
Yeah, probably because this is like 2017. Probably mailed it or emailed it somewhere.
Yeah.
He got the prints back. So
walked back to the house.
Yep. So he could walk back to the house and dramatically burn the photo.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the only reason he did that.
I'm gonna say
why. He he went to the party and he saw the picture and he's like, I need to get a shot of that.
That's right.
Because I'm
angry about this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we introduce a new villain, which is him and the Mrs. Robinson.
It's gonna be Dark Knight. It's gonna be Sex Joker and Sex Two-Face.
Or Sex Two-Face, here.
Yeah. I would argue
this movie is like mostly villains.
Yeah. Well, you could argue everybody's a villain.
Nobody's really good.
The movie
I
is
mean,
a villain,
nobody's good, but there's some people who are not bad. They're just there.
I just want to say, I think that episode 3 could easily be Kill Bill, but from Jack's perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's just like crossing off members of that family and just murdering them.
It could be literally anything and also nothing, because that's what I'm learning. Is
there a baby at the end of it?
I hope not.
Is there a baby that gets spanked with clamps? Clamped baby.
Clamp baby.
Oh, sorry. Is that too raw?
No.
It's the prospect of a baby.
No, yeah, it's the prospect of like a baby gate in front of that red room, and like they're just.
I'm just going to tell you right now, Renee's May would have improved this movie.
Yes,
that's how bad this movie
freak.
Is. That cool-faced creature would be an improvement on this movie.
No, they're going to turn the red room into the nursery. They'll just.
Remember Twilight, Dave? It was so much better than this.
It is so much better than this.
It was so much better.
Do you remember the much like the helicopter crash in this?
Yeah.
That the climax of Twilight was a fantasy.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
It was like Snow Globe. They Snow Globed us after everyone was doing the stunner for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was thrilled.
It was the best part of the movie, and then they were like, guess what?
None of it happened. None of it happened.
No, I genuinely don't know. I didn't think there'd be a helicopter crash in this movie. I didn't think there would be a helicopter crash in this movie a minute before it happened.
It was very Days of Our Lives.
Yes.
Like, it definitely felt like, and it turns out I have a twin.
Yes.
You know, like, it was, what?
And so what this movie has taught us is that anything can happen, but also
nothing will happen.
Nothing
will
also,
happen.
Even if a dinosaur shows up, it's not going to matter.
It'll like fall into a hole and it'll bury it, and then they won't get curious
This movie is making us believe we're crazy.
Yeah, it's gaslighting us.
Yes.
No, that's what it is.
That's exactly. It is allowing us to allow anything to be canon in this world and in our minds.
Right.
We cannot predict the next movie because reality is everything and nothing. Yeah. This movie has ruined our brains.
But we're going to have to try.
Yeah, we have to try. Absolutely. That's our responsibility.
We have three quote-unquote villains.
Yeah.
We have Mrs. Robinson. We have Jack.
Yeah, Back from the Dead Jack.
And we have Layla.
And Jose.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jose
is going to be the Jacob of this. I think that's what's happening, right?
Well, I think we all agree Jacob's a villain, don't we?
Yeah, you're right. Jacob is a villain.
Yeah.
Oh, God, fuck. The stuff with him bonding to the baby.
Yeah. Where he turns into a pedophile.
Yeah.
The whole argument you'd been making for 4 long episodes, he fucking submarined it.
Yeah, he sure did. He turned into a pedophile.
Yeah.
There's already enough pedophilia in this.
Let me ask you a question. Seriously.
Okay.
Not kidding.
Okay.
Would you rather watch them fumble through another plot that results in them getting married, maybe having a kid, or would you rather just watch a full hour of the entire leading up to and aftermath of one fuckfest with them? just the whole hour is all that. That's
that
all
would
it
be
is.
great.
Fuckfest.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, like even just the awkward parts where like they stand up and like I'm gonna go get a thing. I'm gonna
Drop
get some water.
Pretense. Fuckfest.
Yeah, and just
That's
what it is.
The whole idea of like, most of these, romance novels or like, romantic sagas or anything like that is there are emotional stakes and there's chemistry and there's none of that. So just give us the fuckfest.
Yeah.
Right. Like she like texts while he like goes and gets some water or something. Like so she's like texting Kate about, whatever days of her lives.
Okay,
Right.
hear
He
me
takes
out.
a dump.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's
hear me out.
just-
Takes a dump break.
Hear me
The
out.
thing that always happens in your sorties.
Yes.
Yeah.
100-something-year-old grizzled Amelia Earhart kicks his door down and goes, "Give me back my plane, bitch!"
Yeah.
You and your like plane lore, bro.
She's got like a coconut crab on her
you
head.
get
She's
so-
become part crab.
You got like some arrow kink going on, bro.
I just
You have no idea. Adam.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure I don't.
No.
I just come cruising through. I don't see like the landing and the takeoffs. I don't see any of that.
It's true. I become a monster at airports. I'm not afraid of flying. I don't like not being in control of the timeline of the day.
She's a problem at airports. I can confirm this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
Like,
a real
is it just
problem.
petulance? Is it just being petulant?
It's petulance. It's dealing with bureaucracy. It's not having answers. It's feeling out of
Airport
control.
petulance.
Are you one of these people who needs it explained? Like needs the procedure explained and you get mad when it's not right?
She doesn't like being trapped.
I don't like being trapped.
So do you need 2 seats around you?
No, I just don't like long ass delays and like not knowing what's going on, not knowing when I'm going to get there, not being able to plan.
Have you ever Karen'd in an airplane? Have you ever full Karen'd?
Actually, no. I usually
looking to
just
Dave
the
to
person I
confirm.
love the
oh no,
most
she
suffers.
hasn't. I was curious.
No,
about her
usually
answer.
the person that I love the most suffers through
Can
my
confirm. Can
like
confirm.
panic attacks and crying. Yes.
Dave shivered for a full
She
week
doesn't
after that.
become, she
'Cause
becomes
it's
a
not
different
their
type
fault.
of monster than a
like
Karen.
it's not their fault.
Yeah, she doesn't direct her anger at like flight attendants or anything.
No.
like
What is the
that.
nature of your monstery? What is it like? Can you describe it for me?
Just like heavy breathing, crying,
She
constant crying.
Yeah.
is
Tears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like panic
get the-
attacks.
When you cry, do you get like the huffing crying? Like
Yes.
the
Yeah.
You get that?
Not the full
Wow.
the full
Yeah,
the
it's a
full
lot of liquids
face.
flying out of your
Yeah.
head. Okay.
All of it.
That's
just,
a lot. And what are you doing meanwhile while the liquid is coming out?
Eating peanuts, watching something.
Are you
No,
ordering a scotch? Are you like, can I get a scotch?
No, rubbing the back. She knows. We both know.
Rub in the back.
The
We
thing
know
is,
what she
I
is.
know that there's I've
At this point,
know
the
what
first
she
flight,
is.
I was concerned because
I've been myself for a long
I
time,
don't-
and I know that there is nothing he
And
can
Dave
do.
has always been Dave.
Yes.
There's never been a universe where Dave
well,
was
no,
not
she's
Dave.
made it clear to me of like, there's
If
nothing.
there was
you can console
something
me,
I
but
could
there's
ask
nothing
for, I would
want.
ask for it. But
She
I
is-
just have to wait that shit out because I figured out there is nothing he can do for me.
She
Okay.
is I feel bad describing it. She's a toddler. She's inconsolable
Like-
on a
Yeah.
plane.
Interesting.
She's crying. She's gonna die. She's like, I want to die.
Is it
This is the
latent
end of
fear
all
about
things.
It's
about
not
flying?
about flying.
No, she just
Okay.
hates it. And
It's
I
not
told
about
her,
flying.
I said,
It's about
"Hun, I
being
think you might be
lost."
afraid of flying."
It's about being lost at LAX. It's about dealing with faceless bureaucracies. It's about like voices over a speakerphone. It's just it's about not being in control of my own life.
Here's the thing.
That's
and this
what
is,
it is.
Yeah, this is why I don't console you too much, is because it's all things we all hate.
Yes.
It's all things we all hate.
I
She
just have
reacts
an
to 'em.
irrational high level of it when it comes to like a faceless bureaucracy. Like
This is fascinating to me.
when it comes to CVS's like whole hold music ordeal and their robot voice. I get the same way. I can't take it.
It's just
It's
visceral.
It's visceral. It's the fact that there is no human I can talk to who can help me.
So this confirms
and
another...
if there was a human that I could talk to who could help me, I would be polite and nice.
There's a guy
and I would
with
be
the rats.
relaxed.
There was a man that ran right past the rats. Didn't see him.
Outside?
Got to be the rat father. Has to be.
There's a rat father outside?
I thought I saw him.
It's probably just our neighbor.
He had a hat on.
Yeah.
A rat ran past him, and they didn't look at each other. Like they already knew.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying. Could it be a rat father?
Daddy.
So this also confirms another theory I've always had, which I think this is the right place to launch this theory.
Okay.
And that is, there is no multiverse where Dave is not exactly this way.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Dave is always this way in every dimension.
And it works for me
I might
because
have a tail.
No tail, Dave.
Okay.
Unless you got one now. You telling us you got a tail?
No, I don't have a
Okay,
tail.
well, no good.
No, I mean, he had a nipple situation for a while, but that's gone.
All right, so I want to stop and explain the nipple situation.
That's
because
all I want.
That
That's all any of us
implies
want.
that there's a situation with my nipple.
Did you clamp it off?
No. Yeah, you're right. It does imply that. You're right.
Yeah, it was I guess a mole on my back.
That looked nipple-ish.
That looked nipple-ish. She
Yeah.
refused to help me get rid of it for the longest time.
Like, what did you want to do? Cut it off?
Yes.
Well, I
She
was
wouldn't-
like,
I
go
wanted
to a
her to take nail clippers
dermatologist.
to it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
How big was it?
I don't know. I never got to experience
Did you try
it.
rubber banding it?
That's what happened.
That's what we ended up.
She
We
finally
bought a
relented.
kit. I relented because the kit looked semi-professional.
She
I was able
hinged our
to just.
relationship on it.
It looks
I
semi-professional.
don't know.
At one point, she was like,
Even logic are you guys using?
listen,
I was using like a.
I don't feel comfortable
I
doing
was
it, but
using
if the
s-
kit looks professional,
right. It was
I'll
very
rip that thing out of
frustrating
your
because
body.
I
one
was
of,
using so much hand sanitizer on it,
Yeah,
just
one of-
trying to.
one of
make
the
sure it wasn't
primary
infected.
benefits of dating someone is you get
Please tell me.
you get
I need to
your
know.
back shit taken care of.
So that
Because
whole
it's like-
surface never been serviced.
Exactly.
Like, not
it's
really.
a mess
I
back
can't.
there.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can reach
It's a
my whole
minefield.
back. I'm one
Yeah.
of those freaks, so I can't relate
Yeah.
to this.
Are
Oh,
you
yeah,
one
you
of those
can touch
people?
it.
Are you one of those like people that are like baboons that just need to fiddle with your partner's body?
Yes.
That's what you're like. Like you're
Actually,
you're
I'm,
No,
I'm
no, no,
also
he's the baboon.
I'm
you're
the
popping
baboon.
pimples.
He's
and
a
you're,
baboon.
No, I'm
you're,
the baboon.
No,
She's right.
he's begging me to do that shit all the time. Like I'm
Yeah.
not plucking out your nipple hairs.
I say
Yeah.
baboon
They're
me,
natural.
baboon me,
Yeah.
baby.
Almost
I say that all
everybody
the
has
time.
nipple hairs.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so do you think that if you guys had a room that all this stuff would
Like a
ruin
red
the
room?
room? Yeah. Like, do you think the red room is still possible for you?
Should we get a red room?
Do you guys?
I
what do you
mean,
think?
I think. Look, if we were rich, and we had, I feel like that might be fun.
I'd make
But
it,
it's
I get an
also
arcade first. I
kind
get
of-
so many other rooms first.
Yeah, that's also kind of like an idea
Right.
for
Yeah.
Giant
children,
theater.
where it's like,
a red room?
well, I mean, children. I mean, like college age people.
Got it.
That's like a fantasy of people who are like.
Every room's a sex room. That's the thing.
That's a fantasy
You
of
don't need a
people who think
room.
life is like reality show. Yeah, exactly. Every room's a sex room.
Yeah.
What if I said instead of red
if
room,
we-
it's just a room full of
if it-
lubricants?
I mean,
A
yes,
lube room.
that would
Yeah, lube
That-
room.
like a slip
Yeah.
inside.
No, okay, no, because I have this scar on my chin.
From lube?
Well,
In
when-
a roundabout way.
when
yeah.
when I was 14, I dumped a bunch of shampoo on the bathroom floor and slid around on my butt, and
Great. So far,
my
so
brain has.
Yeah.
I have not matured since then,
Right.
emotionally or practically, in terms of doing practical things. So that's exactly what I would do again.
Yeah,
so
with
you're afraid a lube room is allowing you to slide around, not creating sexual situations.
Well, honey, the
Yes.
point of a lube room would be it would be padded too, so we wouldn't have those problems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
then
Sorry,
I'm
did
down.
you?
I'm down.
We both interpreted the lube room as a lubricated room. Was
And
that
I
what you meant?
No, I didn't. I meant a room
Okay.
full of. I didn't mean like, what if I made your entire room a slip and slide?
Okay, because
I meant, what if there was a
Well,
room full
okay,
of
but
oils
here's
of
the-
various kinds?
I think we just went to the natural conclusion of how messy we are.
and what we
Yeah.
do with that room, because frankly, I don't want just like bottled lube because then you have to replace it all the time. I want it like
That's an issue.
I want like a tank buried with lube, like plumbing for lube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a lube room.
Yeah.
It greases
It's
the
got
room.
like a big like a fire hose. You just squeeze it into a barrel. or
yeah,
whatever.
and it's like
Yeah.
it's like in the wall, so it's always like pores,
In the wall.
pores
Well,
that's
of
now I'm
lube.
thinking about
That's
the
how
fact
you get
that
rid of your
this
rats.
is this
Yeah.
is
right there.
Yeah.
Your lube walls.
this is going inside me. I'm not happy.
What's going inside you? Nothing's going
lube.
the
inside
lube
of
is
you.
going. What are you talking about? That's how
It's
lube works.
lube.
What are you talking about?
It's the lube room. We're lubricating the room.
Yeah, we're not saying that she has like Inception prescription and the lube creates the room going inside her. We're saying the materials of the lube
That's
are going
what
in her
lube is
body.
for.
That's how lube works. I'm not breaking news to you. Don't
It
give
could
me this
go
fucking
inside
book.
you
Slipping,
too.
by slipping and sliding, you mean? It's just going to get in my mouth and like in my eyes.
Dave, when you lubricate
Sex.
your wiener,
I'm not talking about sex.
that's
I'm
all we're talking about right now.
I'm talking
Stop trying
about
to turn it into something else.
I'm
It's
talking-
50 Shades of Guy,
hold on.
motherfucker.
No,
we're talking
no.
about sex.
I'm talking about a lube room, a room that is lubricated. That is
Why would that exist?
for her to slip
A
and slide.
2-foot slip and slide?
Yes.
I mean, I
Get
would-
a yard,
Hold
motherfucker.
on, hold on. First of all,
I
the room
need to
can
hold
be
on.
hold on. The room can be on a tilt. It can be like curvy, and there can be all these little journeys you could
Oh,
take.
that'd be fun.
Yes, there could be ladders and
Okay.
chutes and ladders. You know,
Dave, I'm sorry. I should have
would
gotten
love
frustrated
that.
with this delightful turn you're taking. What you really want is a fucking bouncy room, man.
yeah, but
And you
lube.
want it in your front yard. Yeah, grease it
Let's
up.
do
a
that.
greasy,
Yeah,
bouncy
just
room.
like spray it
and
down
you
with sunscreen.
you turn on. You have a knob and you
Yeah.
grease the room.
Just spray it with hand sanitizer, like the stuff that you have to squeeze.
yeah, you
I
have,
mean, I
Just
would
coat it in that.
I would love if we went down a more like kink route, like just more storage in general for the stuff.
I would love.
I don't
storage,
think
yes.
I would love
Like
storage
that's your
in,
kink, or
in
you
this
want kink
house.
stuff storage.
I would want kink stuff storage because
got
I
it.
want more storage. And,
So it's not. Oh my God, Dave!
Okay.
You made such great
Hold on,
shelves.
I do.
I'm
all
just
right.
saying I'm just saying you don't need a room dedicated to sex.
So
I'm saying, but what if you had one?
right, so
I mean-
I just had this realization.
I just feel like you'd ruin the room by
That-
like farting in it or like.
Well, that's
just-
what I was getting at.
you
Is like
ruin
Well,
the-
you ventilate
if
the
we
room.
had a
But you would
red room,
eventually ruin the mood of the room somehow. Someone would ruin the mood of the room unintentionally.
I don't
it
think
would
you have
be
to make
fine.
Well,
I don't think
no,
you have to leave
hold on.
farts out of that
What
room. I think you could.
no, there'll be
incorporate
farts
But
there.
what I'm saying is, well, I mean, it's us, so yes. But what I'm saying is like the whole point of making it a separate room is so that you can change up the mood. And by doing that, you're inevitably setting yourself up to fail because you're just people.
Here's my
And
fear.
you're in a long-term partnership in which sometimes you can't like create a mood like that. You just
Yeah.
love
What if you
each
have an
other.
assistant? You have an assistant
You
who
just
like
love
invites
each
you
other,
to the
hold
room.
on.
that creates the
I-
mood as opposed to a room situation.
Here's
I hear
my
you.
fear, and I think it's everybody's fear if they had a red room, yourself included, is that
Let's see,
I would
Dave.
have like dirty dishes in there. Like I wouldn't be able to keep it clean.
Oh no, we're a mess.
It's not.
That's the
Yeah,
other thing.
it's the same with having an office
Yeah.
or any room. Is that it's just not. It's the idea of
idea-
dedicating
I
a
think
room.
the amount of time that we would spend untangling the chains and
The
whips.
Yeah, it'd be a
the
mess.
probability of you guys getting a sex ratatouille is very high.
sex
I'm just,
attitude.
it's just a sex ratatouille.
Yeah.
One of them just like riding your heads and just teaching you all the chill moves. That is a very likely scenario.
That'd be great,
Yeah.
honestly.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be
I'm
that'd
a fan
be great.
of that.
Yeah.
So that might be something we can take from this movie.
Yeah.
Is your
Do you think in the
Sex
third
ratatouille.
movie there'll be a sex ratatouille?
Yeah.
What are we never fully answered the question? What do we think the third movie's going to be?
I
I
did.
thought we were roundabout getting to that.
I
Dave.
did.
Okay.
Is the
I told you, Amelia Earhart becomes part coconut crab.
Okay. Well, that's yours.
you were
Bashes
just
down the
fucking
door.
planes from antiquity.
Yeah.
The Wright brothers come in, but their overalls are unzipped.
If it becomes
okay.
like aviation history sex, I'm in. I'm in for that.
Yeah.
What do you think the third movie
Third movie is. Okay, so just to give us a break from bits for a second,
Okay.
I legitimately think they get married and we find out the full extent of Kim Basinger's sordid past, and Kim Basinger breaks them up temporarily and they get back together sexier than ever, by which I mean they have 3 different kinds of sex, most of them on tables. And
Yep.
and at the end of the movie she's pregnant. That's my thought.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
I
she's pregnant at the end. So,
I think bringing a baby in really
I-
blows up the red room idea.
well,
You know?
So my thought was.
I mean, it is. There are a bunch of choking hazards in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thought. So you didn't
Yeah.
mention. So Jack has to come into it. So my thought was that something's going to go public, like some Christian Grey.
with the kink stuff.
I think that's one possibility. Is we have the old subs that was introduced. This is. I might be assuming
God,
there's more
is this going to be like
storytelling
an
happening.
But there's no
anti-Me Too
crimes,
fucking?
right?
Hold on.
Okay, or are you assuming there
This
are
is
crimes?
no. This is me doing too much work for the movie and looking at what they laid down.
It's like you didn't learn from Twilight.
I know.
See, I kept doing this.
I mean, they did lay down that he is a sociopath. That is
right.
A fair assumption that he has done sex crimes.
And there's a bunch of subs.
All right.
But
and there's
this movie wants us to like him, so...
And then there's Jack. So there's Sex Joker, Sex Two-Face, and the subs. Yeah. My guess is that Jack wants to ruin
Harley
Christian.
Quinns.
Yeah,
like
of course.
Jack wants to.
Obvious.
And so my guess is that he's going to reveal something. It's going to be like a public scandal or something. I assume Sex Joker will be involved. I just assume those two are going to team up in some way.
Otherwise, I can't figure out what the.
Yeah, and I assume they're going to use the subs for that if we have a real movie. And I think the other possibility, which could tie into this, is that we're going to get married life, right? And there's the conflict is going to be like we get into a rut.
Things cool off.
Yeah. And I think it'll end with them going back into the Red Room. Like, I think there'll be the conflict will be like, we stopped having sex.
Right.
But the problem with that
makes sense.
Well,
that's interesting-ish.
It does and it doesn't, because the problem with that is that they're never going to do that. They need a kinky, in air quotes, kinky movie.
What if they have somebody has an affair?
Is
there any chance that happens?
That's what else is left. You know, that would be a good thing to happen. I mean, I'd love it to end with like Sense8 and they all just have a big orgy or something.
Clearly.
But I don't think there's going to be an orgy in this. That's unfortunate.
I think it's really missing the boat of what this is, right? Like now, I mean, this is maybe where a Hana question, but do you feel like this movie could be sexier if it had added orgy stuff? Like, or does that ruin what this is, like the relationship piece of it, or complicate it too far?
I feel like the relationship piece of it has already been ruined, burned. Like
So could we have turned up the heat with that stuff?
I have no emotional investment in this relationship. In fact, it actively like upsets me. Therefore, yes.
It's like going to the fucking airport.
Absolutely. Yes.
The other
this movie
possibility
took me to the fucking airport.
Yeah.
No, but that's exactly what I mean. This movie takes you out of control of your own reality.
So
This movie makes you think you're going crazy. This movie makes time different.
Yes.
In the same way that the airport does, and that abusive partners
like solitary.
do.
It's like doing a month in solitary.
I'm not saying that the airport is the same level of trauma as an abusive partner, but I am saying
but you're not saying
all of these things make time go differently.
Yeah. Here's another theory.
I'm ready.
The first movie is called 50 Shades of Grey. Right?
50 Shades Darker is the next one.
Yep. The one we just watched is 50 Shades Darker, where the plot gets darker. Things are darker.
Ish.
We learn about his dark past. It takes his kink and it makes it a dark situation. The third one is called 50 Shades Freed. So my guess is that the relationship might actually end. I'm wondering if they'll go back around
There's no fucking
to her
way.
leaving him.
Absolutely not.
Then the other possibility, and this is what I'm genuinely hoping for.
He heals?
Yeah, he's going to heal.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm genuinely hoping for is she becomes the Dom. We've talked about this in the last one, too. It would be cool if, like, suddenly they just switch roles. I'm just thinking of, like, what... If I was making this, what would I do to make something happen, something interesting? What probably will happen is what you predicted. Is like it'll be
just milestones.
It'll be a bunch of nonsense. There'll be some business stuff. that happens.
There will be some montages of him learning to human.
Yeah, there'll be a fucking earthquake or something, and then the movie will, and it won't matter.
Yeah,
and then the movie will end, and you'll go, "Wait, why did I watch that?" That's probably how it will go.
I guess I'm a little disappointed in these because they're not as fun bad as I wanted them to be.
They're not.
Again, because Twilight was such a rush.
It's hard to find something that's that unhinged.
I think that we need to think about, if we ever do any more of these, it has to be in the supernatural sci-fi zone.
Yeah, or at least something like that.
Look, I could give you if you want to do like emotional romance shit, like
I don't think we want to do that. I think that's the uniting theme here.
Well, if you want to do like sexy romance shit, foreign countries do that better. In my experience,
but we don't want to watch a good movie. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
We want to watch Divergent and shit like that.
I get up every day wishing
you want to watch something that's not geared towards you, though.
Yeah.
Also,
I get up every day wishing that there were 3 Covenant movies, but there's only one, because that's what we would do next.
Or Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Covenant is like a direct. I think it's trying to be Twilight. It's very
okay.
It's male witches in Salem.
What's the Gate like? What's Gate and Gate 2 and like those weird ass horror movies?
The Gate?
Yeah.
I've watched one of them. It's not this.
They're not dumb like that.
No, they're like Joe Dante adventure. They're like Gremlins and like cool. Yeah,
all
no,
right. We'll figure it out. Man.
I want people to tell us what they think.
Yeah,
but I'm also going to say this right now. We probably will ignore it because I noticed that people. Well, I've noticed this about people is they don't know what makes good podcasts necessarily.
They do what I just did, which is suggest good things that you won't have much to talk about
that's
because
when they're actually trying.
You're not critiquing.
The other version is they send memes. You know, it'd be really funny is like just Neil Breen. You know, like and it's like but
I do a Neil Breen podcast, but I don't think you would want to do that, and it's not the point of this.
How could it be worse than this?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I could find something else bad that's geared towards women who like men.
Hana's got a project.
Like tween stuff. Oh yeah, Hana, find us.
They could tweet us ideas.
Another movie.
I do think the tween idea is better.
Yeah,
but this didn't quite
it's hard
do that.
because there's stuff like all right. So there's the Hunger Games, and it's like, let's throw that aside because I actually think there's some value in those movies, and they're not wild enough. But then, okay, we're going down that avenue. There's the Maze Runners or the Divergence.
Right.
Divergence, they didn't finish making them, so I don't think that seems weird.
Okay. Sure.
The Maze Runner ones I've seen, and I know that they're not stupid enough. Maybe they are, but they're a little too. I don't know.
It's Harry Potter's not stupid enough. Just the author.
No, Harry Potter hangs together.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we don't have to figure it out in real time.
We could.
We could end the episode.
I mean,
no, absolutely not.
Well, then let's figure out real time here. What other genres? We could watch like the Santa Claus movies.
That's actually
what's the sequel like? What is the sequel?
There's several.
Listen, I'm here now.
What is the sequel like?
I'm here now. I refuse because that movie has one of my phobias.
You're
body horror.
All you're
morphing,
doing,
someone
you're doing
morphing
is making
against
this sound
their
like
will.
a sweet
plum.
Yeah. I know that it's a funny, fun movie.
Well, honey, you don't have to necessarily watch it.
Yeah, I refuse. I will not.
See, I was thinking of stuff like that is fun because we could do like Land Before Time, all 10 of them.
Yes.
Some of those you get surprises. Like Cinderella 3, legitimately good movie. I would argue better than Cinderella 1.
What?
Yep. Better.
Yeah,
Cinderella.
Yep.
It kind of goes back and retcons all of the things that didn't were not good.
It's the Terminator Genesis of Cinderella movies.
I think there's also possibly video game movies, like maybe the Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I'm always up for Mortals Kombat.
That's some tween shit too, I think.
Yeah, there's 3 Mortals Kombat
the
right now.
romance stuff is better, though. Like we can find that.
I like the romance
I mean, we can find that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are the movies I just blank. I go comatose when they come on.
We watched Titanic a few times, just over and over again.
I mean, are you going for just bad romantic movies in general?
I think Dave and I are going for movies
romantic movies geared towards teens.
Ideally, we haven't seen it. Ideally, it was a thing that everybody cared about, and we were like, why would we watch that?
Yeah.
And then it is bad enough that Dave and I have a good time. Like, that's really what it is.
Right. So this is,
that's the rules.
This is probably a rule, and no offense to us.
No offense.
But I think it needs to be a movie that, traditionally speaking, if we walked into the theater and sat down, someone would call the ushers.
Yeah.
Someone would go, they can't be here. They shouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah, I think that
they're not
like
here
the
for the movie.
Babysitter's Club series, anything, we could do that. Wow, you both popped for that.
Wow.
So.
That's a phenomena that passed me by. That was a
that's big
dumb. Thing.
Yeah.
And I do think
from a lot of those.
From what I've been told, the stories are stories.
Yeah.
They are actual stories.
I mean, we could
but
also round up
they might
whatever
not be
Care Bear
good.
shit there is, or My
Care
Little
Bear
Ponies or whatever.
shit, yeah.
They're probably not good. I mean,
I saw them as a kid because my sister watched them, but I don't remember them. So I don't know.
These are ideas.
Yeah, we could do Blossom, episodes of Blossom.
Speaking of Blossom,
Speaking of Blossom?
yeah, Anastasia's hair. It's very blossomy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Did it get bigger? I didn't want
It
to.
got a little bit. It felt like longer, and her bangs started to bother me. Like they troubled me a little bit, especially when she was walking around with that hoodie. Because the way she was wearing the hoodie, she wore it like this, and her hair was like sort of pouring out of it, so it was all
weird.
getting wet.
It was very
and
weird.
I was like, that isn't what she would do, right?
Right. That's not what
It's
anyone
like one of those
would do.
weird tells where it's like, has she never worn a hoodie?
Right.
yeah.
You know,
It's
does
like
she
the
not
director
know?
wanted that or something.
It doesn't make
Again,
sense.
director of Glengarry Glen Ross and Perfect Stranger, which from what I can tell from those two is like, okay, don't do anything involving romance. Like that's
I
the,
guess.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he went into his trailer at lunchtime and just says, you know, third place you're fired. Third place you're fired. He just got really upset with himself.
Should we know Glengarry Glen Ross is probably the only film he's done on the list that I was like, that's a good film.
Yeah.
The rest.
I would say too much balls up top, but yes.
Oh yeah, a lot of ball stuff in both Glengarry Glen Ross and this.
Yeah.
Also photography in
Were there
Perfect Stranger in
balls
this.
In this?
Yeah, they go up. They go right up there.
Oh, you mean so like the beads you're talking about?
Yeah, the vaginal beads.
And they had beads in Glengarry Glen Ross?
You got to have brass balls, Adam.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for tying that together for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My got ball play in them.
Yeah, I didn't immediately go to connect the metaphors.
Man, they should have had Mamet write this.
God.
Right in 50 Shades.
Oh,
It'd just be
God.
about how much like divorced men are great, and that's it.
That would chill.
Yeah.
Or a Sorkin to write it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine?
Fuck.
I'm
Team up.
upset.
Team
Just
up.
these long walks where they're explaining like, listen, you got to put the butt plug in, and when you put the butt plug,
Yeah,
butt plug
exactly.
in there,
I can't
it's a
believe we
metaphor,
found
you know?
similarities.
The more we
between
talk
Glengarry
about
Glen
this,
Ross and
the
this.
more my brain is the rat-infested
Yeah.
house.
I'm
Welcome
telling
to
you,
the
you're gonna
family.
wake
They're
up
closing in
copulating
on
with
me.
Dave, and you're gonna feel a weird rustling in your hair, and it's sex ratatouille.
You're gonna fuck a rat.
Yeah. That's not what I said, but sure.
I summed it up.
Why did I agree to talk about this with men?
I don't know. We needed
Because
you.
this was happening. It's
Yeah.
like, it was happening
It's
in your
happening
house.
in my house.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We were in the middle of the living room.
Just like the rats, this is happening, and I have no control over it,
Exactly.
and there's
Right.
no one.
Exactly. This is by the way, this is the reason why it's stupid there's no orgies in this
Right.
movie franchise. Because like if it's happening in the house, people are
Right.
attracted to it.
Well,
That's what's going
again,
on.
there's finger blasting her in the.
Actually,
in the,
no. I can tell you from experience.
Orgy experience?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
That it's a little uncomfortable
We
to
got real
just
quiet.
see a pile
Well,
of.
I want to hear.
It's a little uncomfortable to just see a pile of teeming bodies, and there are a lot of people awkwardly standing by the food.
Yeah,
'cause there's no
which you're
safe
not-
place
You don't
to
want to eat
stand.
the food.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
safe
I
place
mean,
to
well,
stand.
okay. I did take a bunch of wrapped candy bars and put them in my purse because I'm my grandma. But no, you don't want any
I
of
mean-
the unwrapped food. You
Let
don't
me
want
tell
like
you,
the
if I'm
meats
at
and
an
cheeses.
orgy, I
No.
will eat an egg salad sandwich there just so I can
You
say I
absolutely
did.
would do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
just so I
You
can
wear a
say.
fucking Hawaiian shirt there with your dick out too.
I would
Yeah.
go, all right, I will go to an
You would
orgy,
absolutely do that.
just eat stuff, and then
wear
leave.
a hat.
Yeah,
I've done
and
that.
people will be
I've
like,
done that. We're made for each other.
Yeah.
You would go to an orgy, strip down to just a hat, eat something,
yep,
right? So you've participated
and then leave.
and leave.
Yeah,
Yeah, leave.
Yep.
Probably tweet about it.
yeah.
You know,
They don't allow
10,000 likes to
But
that
yeah.
tweet.
I will say there was a rule that you must be clothed in the room that the food was.
That's good.
Yeah,
Oh.
sure. I don't want genitals in proximity to my like cheese
Well,
wedges
yeah,
or whatever.
tables are like genital height, so like
But
you
you
could
said you
easily
saw the-
see someone dip a ball like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the cheese without
Yeah,
even knowing.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because
just to
there were
spice it up.
tables in the
Yeah.
sex rooms too,
Yeah.
and chairs and like these.
So
yeah.
so when you're observing the undulating mass of bodies, that's in a different room than the food.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay, so you
okay.
leave the room like eyes wide shut, and like I'm just and like go over and like then there's other people fully clothed acting like we're not at an orgy,
right.
just like hey, have you tried the pate or whatever?
Yes, it's
Yep.
really
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Was it good food?
I mean,
You
I
didn't try it.
Sorry,
Bless you.
Okay.
I only tried the stuff that was wrapped. I mean, the candy bars were candy bars.
Yeah.
You've had them. So
Okay. No, I haven't had those ones.
Orgy candy?
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I haven't had ones kissed by the orgy musk.
Yeah.
I haven't had that.
Also, every TV episodes of Coach.
I wish. Honestly, anything to
It's so
brighten up that
inspiring.
experience.
I want to host
I
an
want
orgy
to rewatch
now.
Coach.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see Coach again.
I just.
Yeah.
It's
I want to
like,
ask
there's
more
a
lurid
Key and
questions
Peele
about the orgy.
sketch.
Is that cool?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to say there's a Key and Peele sketch where a guy goes to a party and he just wants to get his coat, and there's a bunch of people fucking on the bed, and it's just a mass of bodies and
That's
hands,
funny. Yeah.
and the hands keep coming and grabbing him, and
Yeah, I've
that's
seen
what
that
it's
one.
like. That's what it's like.
So were you constantly being like proselytized to join
Yes.
this and that? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you?
I
So how do you
assume-
handle that?
I just like I'm not ready. Not now.
I
ready, not
assume it's based on the fact that you're a lady, right? Like it feels like it might be the opposite problem if you're a guy, depending on who you are.
There's no way.
It's like
I'm
going
walking
on being
into
on
an
the
orgy.
playground and being like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And they're like,
Exactly.
"It's full. We're full over
The
here."
seats taken.
Yeah, seats
That's what happened
taken.
at my orgy. I'm showing up. You can't sit here.
Well, no, we actually looked up a sex club,
okay.
right?
Here's the thing.
Oh, you looked one up.
Well, we were talking about. I think it was the one you went to, and we were looking it up, and the sex club has literally a like no unaccompanied men allowed.
Yes,
where it's like,
yeah.
oh, that's so sad. Like, fuck that. Like,
But
I get
it's
why
a
the
functional
rules there.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like any rule. It's
Yeah,
like no
yeah, yeah.
diving in the pool. It's like
yeah.
clearly they put that there for a reason.
There
'cause-
have been men who have ruined it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, but also, if you could, there'd be 150 men and like 3 women, and those 3 women would be there for 10 seconds,
yeah.
steal some candy bars, and leave.
Get the hell out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Because we don't want to be cornered. Like even if we're into it, it's just
Completely.
It's just, I mean, that's what I'm saying about this movie and like being an indictment of straight relationships.
Yeah.
It kind of yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is why there are no apps with women on them that function like Grindr, where you know someone's location because
Right.
of crimes.
Sure. That completely makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Even
im-
Grindr, I'm pretty because men can be just as horrible to other men. I'm
Oh, yeah, of
surprised,
course.
and there are also like trans women on there sometimes. Like I worry.
Mhm.
Totally. I wouldn't ever be at an orgy. I would never feel comfortable.
I don't-
To be
I
fair,
can't
I
do
have not seen anyone's Grindr profile since like 2014. Maybe they've worked out these problems.
Sure. I
Don't
can't
know.
see myself as at an orgy. I don't think.
Like, is it funny? The idea, is it funny?
It's funny.
It's funny.
So here's
I'm tired. I mean, we're in our 30s.
yeah, that's part of it.
You are.
I might in my 20s. I might go to an orgy, but I
You
don't
absolutely
think
would have.
I don't think much
Yeah,
would have
that's when I
happened,
went.
and I think I would have been
You would have stood
scared
around
away.
and felt
That's
weird.
what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a funny idea. Then you'd show up and be like, "This isn't that funny of an idea."
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. And then we had sex at home,
What?
Sure.
like normal.
Oh yeah.
The partner I had at the time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
right, 'cause
that's
you
what
went
it
with
is.
a partner, right? You wouldn't have gone by yourself. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. And
Right.
and look, I will say this because he said this in stand up before, and we're still buds.
Great.
Dude looks like the Zodiac killer. He was a 10 in that room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
And there were
Yeah.
some very stunning women there that we would just give each other this eye of like, can we just like go somewhere else?
Not
and
be here, but
Yeah.
be together.
Can we
there.
be together somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
you know,
go to Denny's.
Yeah, I got
go to sex Denny's.
Sex Denny's.
Yeah.
Oh God, I want to
I
make
did
an
get
orgy.
phone numbers that I
Called
just
sex
never
Denny's.
called because the circumstances of our meeting was weird.
Right.
Because it was like women who were like, let's hang out not here.
Like, hey, it's me from the orgy.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Wait.
we didn't call each other because it would have been, hey, it's me from the orgy.
Yeah, somebody has to brave that terrain.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
You could have gotten away with it.
I
You
mean,
could have called and been like, "Hey, I saw you at the thing, you know,
Yeah.
Fidelio."
If you got
Yeah,
the
but
number
then
at the
it would've
orgy, how
been-
else are you going to call
but then
them?
it would have been a comment. It would have been a whole thing of like, neither of us really want our boyfriends there, so we have to go back and discuss this with them, and then we have to come, and it would just be like a mess. And it
Because
would,
you'd be trying to get rid of the boyfriend for this. Yeah,
I
that
mean-
makes sense. I get it. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that. I mean, I don't think we would have wanted each other's. I mean,
Yeah, I get it. You don't want to do a 4-way. I get it.
we didn't connect up with those
work.
men on physical attraction. I'll say that.
It's too much work.
Yeah, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I just don't think there's any way this old bear could be dragged to that.
That was rude of me
Again,
to
at
say.
our ages, it's like
I don't think any age I would have done it. I don't think any age I would have done it.
The most adventurous I got as a 20-year-old involved like a threesome situation.
Yeah.
With another woman, and that just involved me going, "So you guys got this, right? I'm gonna go." And like,
you bailed.
Not being like, not like feeling it's laziness. It was laziness. It was like, I don't know if I just want to go and like watch TV in the other room.
So you didn't participate.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. No, and that isn't to say like. What I'm getting at here is that it's the same with an orgy. I've always been lazy, and it's it's not so much about the sex as it is the social aspect, where it's like this is very overwhelming.
It's exhausting.
And it's like, I don't know these people. I don't like strangers. I don't like parties. Why would I like an orgy?
I also don't like parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just it's that. It's just like I'm not horny enough to wade through that scenario.
That honestly doesn't seem like the easiest way anyway.
That's what I was talking about
You know
with
what
the
I mean?
phone calls. Like, what would we do? Make small talk?
No,
hey, I saw you at the orgy? Like, what the fuck?
It has to be your kink. For people listening at home who love orgies, that we're not shaming you.
Oh, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just, it has to be a kink. Otherwise, it's like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Or you just have to be a really
So-
social person.
Yeah.
You just have to be like a really open social person.
Yeah, you have to be the
who's
cool
really
kid at the
comfortable
orgies.
in
By
any
the way,
setting.
if you've listened to this point in the podcast, please respond #cool kid at the orgies.
Yeah. And we've
So
rewarded
we know
you now
you've
with these
listened.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool kid at the orgies.
Cool kid at the orgies.
Or
And-
coach orgy.
yeah.
Coach orgies.
Yes.
Coach orgies.
Honestly, I think Sex Ratatouille was really...
Sex
Sex
ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
These
Yeah.
are all options.
That's one of my better bits in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
like that one. I like that one.
That's...
I would really
Were
laugh
the
if I
neighbors
found out that
yelling
it happened.
because of the
Yeah.
rats?
I mean, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I see. It's fine in the daylight when I see like 4 or 5 rats running around. At nighttime, if I see a rat, even if it's the same
sun
rat,
did just set.
my mind.
It's the rat's world
explodes.
now.
Yeah. It's their time now.
Yeah. You're going
It's
to
their
get jumped by rats when you
Literally.
leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like wear my steel-toed boots out of
Yeah,
here. You know, it's gonna be a real Mad Max situation,
Yeah.
rat-wise. You know, absolutely. So, okay, we've predicted what comes next.
Let's end the podcast.
Are you sure?
Does anybody else have any? I blew through my notes. I'm done with my notes.
I have rats
tried to
in
do
my
as many
brain.
notes as I could. I think what I've learned, like, I think people will enjoy this. I hope they will. But I do think that
The movie or this podcast?
our podcast about this. But
Yeah,
I think
we're great.
We're wonderful.
Yeah.
But I do think like the zone is not just stupid romance.
No, absolutely.
Like our next one, it can't just be stupid romance.
It needs something, an added element.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
some kind of
I
a
would
lot of the
say-
like Percy Jackson. I
I'm
would
going
love,
to
but
say
there's only 2.
you should go into some Disney Channel original movies.
That would work.
Are they that dumb though?
They can be.
What I want a saga, right?
Yeah,
And like
Yeah.
we could easily do like the National Treasures or something like that. But I love
Sure.
those movies.
those are better than this. Way
yeah,
better.
Exactly. We need I think it's theater that we'd be escorted out of.
That's a good
Yeah.
criteria. Yeah,
Disney Channel original movie.
Yep. Some sort of fantasy element
Disney
sci-fi,
Channel
yeah.
or
original
sci-fi.
movie.
yeah.
Something interesting.
Yeah.
Not
Or like
well,
secret
maybe.
agents. Something that it's not
Spies.
just a romance.
What
Right.
about like 3 Ninjas?
There's no. Yeah, I guess there is there romance in that. Is there orgies? I don't think there's
I
orgies.
don't think there's orgies.
No,
in
3 Ninjas could work. I think we wouldn't be kicked out of 3 Ninjas, but you could do
If
3
you
Ninjas.
and I walked in together to a theater to watch 3 Ninjas,
Win.
Surf's Up.
If it was made today, if it was released
If it
today,
was re-released
it'd be
today.
nothing but us. If it was released today.
Empty theater, but you and me.
Oh,
We're the
yeah,
only
or
ones
just like a
watching it.
bunch of
No, a
versions of
bunch
us.
of a bunch of white
Oh my
dudes who
God.
look like they have podcasts.
What if we saw like
Yes.
what if we saw like our like friend twins?
Oh god.
You know what I mean? Like
We'd have
they're
to
like
fight
us, but they're not exactly
Yeah,
us.
we'd have
like
to fight
the
them.
Dave wears glasses and the Adam has no
Oh.
beard and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's
What if we
terrifying.
saw it? It would happen at Three Ninjas, bro.
It would.
It would.
Yeah.
It would happen there.
Oh, yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That is a good
Thank
idea.
you for bringing me back to a good mental space.
Hey, you're welcome.
This movie,
Actually, you can thank 50 Shades of Grey for that.
Yeah.
I was going to say this movie put me in a bad one.
I'm sorry.
No,
for me,
not
it didn't go darker. For me, I worked today. I taught college students about script structure, and then went right home and watched 50 Shades Darker.
Yeah.
Stopped
if they only knew what you were going home to do.
Stopped. I like literally was like, I don't have time for this meeting. I have to go to do a podcast. So I went home to watch 50 Shades Darker, which took me 4 hours while I'm typing emails and notes.
Right.
You know, and then drove right here where we talked about fucking rats. That's the day I had today.
Great day, Adam. Great day.
What a day. This is also
Holy
the same
shit.
day that One-Upsmanship launched. Just to
Yeah,
put this on the
congratulations.
calendar. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's not why I said it. I said it because I just want you to know what that day really was.
Yeah.
For me.
It's a big day.
It's a big day.
It's a big
Mostly
day.
rats, though.
Yeah. Mainly rats.
I mean, I don't know how to. If you could, like, to prove you listen to this podcast, like, message either me or Dave with, like, how do you humanely trap all the rats on your porch in a city and then re-release them somewhere that is
We have a
not
to-do
city
list.
because LA
Yeah.
is all, like,
You're saying
miles
people
and
should
miles
tweet
of.
us with advice?
Yeah.
We'll be long eaten by the rats by the
Yeah.
time
I
this
know.
comes out.
You're
So
right.
can I? Well, that's right. So here's the list of things people are required to do as a result of this podcast. Like,
Yeah.
just to sum up.
Have an orgy.
So number one, have an orgy.
Have
I
an
do
orgy.
want to hear your orgy stories. Please
Yes,
tweet
yes.
them.
Orgy
please.
stories, yes.
For real, I want to hear your orgy stories.
Yep.
I will always respond skeptically. Just know that.
Okay.
I'm not going to be like, cool. I'm going to be like, that didn't happen.
So provide pictures.
I will
Yeah.
believe you. So
So please provide pictures.
Yeah.
You must tweet if you've gotten this far. # Coach Orgy or coolest kid at the orgies.
Yeah. Or ratatouille sex.
Or sex ratatouille.
sex
Yes.
ratatouille.
Those are the 3 things we're accepting that we know you've listened to it.
Yep.
And tweet Hana and Dave advice on how to manage their rat nest
Yeah.
that is probably under their house right now.
Yep.
Like they might be forming a rat king,
Yeah.
which is to say a greater organism. That might be
Humane
happening.
but finite solutions, please.
Yes. So that's, a lot for people
I
to do with
almost
their
said
time.
final solutions.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
God.
I'm.
We did go 50 Shades Darker.
Yeah, we did.
That's a lot of shades darker.
All right.
I'm
Let's
I'm
end
Jewish.
on the
Don't tweet at me about that.
All right. But let's end on the Nazi joke. That sounds good. So
That was
I
a
got you
pure
both
accident. That was purely an accident. I
I
just
don't want to talk about that.
no. We don't have to.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
You sent us careening down that mine shaft, bro.
I'm sorry.
That's
here.
how
Dropped a
words work.
smoke grenade.
That's how words work.
I'm
I
sorry.
can't just
My-
pretend they didn't happen.
My brain doesn't work good.
I love that you said I almost did this Nazi joke. And it's like, well, then you did it, didn't you?
did.
Yeah. I think where I was
conversation grenade in the
I
middle of this
think where I
place.
was going is I was proud of myself for correcting it and forgot that I was on a podcast that was being recorded. So I just wanted to let
Sure.
you
Does that
guys
feel like
know
we're kind of just hanging out?
that I'm
Yeah, I'm
proud of
here's
myself.
the thing. I'm literally not going to cut a single thing.
Oh no!
out.
I assumed you wouldn't, unless somebody said something legitimately offensive. But we
Like-
haven't even been trying yet.
You're going to have to flag that for me. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm just going to edit
Why
it.
would you? Why would you?
No.
You don't listen to your podcast. That's right.
Slap a couple filters on it and we're good.
This deserved to be listened to before we released it.
Well,
This was trash.
too bad.
This was trash. You know what I fantasized about in my shower about this podcast?
Okay.
Like just a good 5-minute session of us shitting on how much we hated this movie.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was like, just fuck this. We're not gonna do it, but that really would have
we
made me
sort
smile.
of did it.
I
Yeah.
mean,
This is a monument to our hatred.
yeah, it really
Yeah.
was.
It
It's
really is.
I have such a deep dark. This put me in a bad place.
Yeah, you got
mentally.
emotional
I
about
did.
it.
I'm
You got
upset.
airport emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I am
You
not
looked
in
at me like a
control
baggage
of
claim
my
guy.
circumstances. This podcast and that movie were happening in my home.
Yeah.
She was like, "You trying to check my bag during the break, Dave? When you went to get a soda?" She's like, "You trying to check my fucking bag?" I was like, "You better settle down.
Yeah.
You better settle it down."
You can do whatever you want with your bag, but that one's mine.
All right.
I control my bags. I control my destiny.
Okay, bye.
So, well, here's what we're going to do.
Oh, there's more?
You're going to plug something.
Oh, yeah, wow.
And then Hana, since you're here, you might as well plug something next.
This is ultimately the case not to listen to whatever I'm plugging, but if you're still invested, nothing will deter you. So please be aware that we have a new and improved podcast called One-Upsmanship on the iHeart Network. It's about video games. It's me and Michael Swaim. Please check it out. If you've been a longtime fan, hey, it's on iHeart now. Go check that out. Subscribe, like it, send a review. Don't send the review Dave sent.
What did he send?
I don't know for sure, but I have a theory on which one Dave wrote.
Oh, did it go through?
Well, I'm not going to say now which one I think it is, but I sent you a text about it that you never responded to.
You sent me a text?
I did. Yes, you monster. Also, you can find my other podcasts on the Small Beans Network, if you're not familiar. That's where I do direct-to-piece theater with Abraham Epperson, who's beautiful. And I'll show you mine if you show me yours, with Maggie, who's also beautiful. They're both beautiful.
Yes, they are.
They really are. So you can find all that stuff there. You can find me streaming video games at The Real Gans on Twitch. And that's all I got to plug for today.
Nice. Hana, plug some stuff.
I would like to say, if you listen to the One-Upsmanship about Pokemon Snap, Adam and I are friends, and that's why we talk to each other like that.
It's really the one guy on Reddit.
Okay,
that guy needed to chill out.
Okay, well, then why even tell me about him? Because he doesn't matter. He's on Reddit.
Because he hurt my feelings.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
No, he seemed very upset. I was like, what did we say? I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Look, we're friends, which means we mock each other.
That's right.
And I send him pillows.
Yeah.
I need to fucking return that pillow here. I keep forgetting to bring it. God.
What are we going to do? You know what?
What do you mean, what are you going to do with it? We all know exactly what you're going to do with it. You're going to dress up as that fox. You're going to both wear the genitals. It's going to be horrible.
Honestly, I think we're going to make it like a 2-person bib and just eat in bed with, like, he gets the fox vagina side and I get the fox boobs, or the other way around. I don't care. It'll be a way to eat in bed without making a mess, right?
If my parents came over and stumbled on that on that thing, I don't know how I could ever explain it to them.
I feel
like I could tell them what happened and they still wouldn't understand.
My apologies to the furry community. I didn't mean to make you a punch. Well, okay, the furry plus pillow girlfriend community. Okay, these are two communities that don't often intersect, so I feel like we're okay. Never mind.
Oh, the fuck pillow. So I was reading reviews. How's that going? Is it good?
The pillow?
Yeah.
The pillow is safely retired in a cupboard until I remember to bring it over here and get rid of it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying. Eating in bed bib, right?
Yeah, we could use that for eating in bed.
I feel like your parents would stumble on it and be like, sure. My parents would stumble on it and be like, what is this?
Right, because you're like, here's a gift from a friend. They're like, that sounds like an excuse.
Right, that sounds like one of those lies I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
No, my parents would stumble on that and be like, you writing another satire article about Kegels? I liked the first one. I read the whole thing.
My parents would be like, what kind of friend would send you something like that? And it would be extremely difficult for me to explain that too.
Right. So wait, did you finish your plug?
Yeah, please, Dave, get us out of here, man.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We're spinning out of control.
I have one. I'm sorry. So yeah, if you listen to that, just know that Adam and I are friends and view everything in that context. And we have established that we could say stuff that a stranger couldn't say.
And this is your plug.
No,
yeah, I'm plugging facts.
my so my plug is my Etsy. Go to etsy.com/catbuttboutique. That is spelled not a pun. BOUTIQUE, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, get cat butts. Get my cat butts. Or something else. Butts. Storage jars.
Made of rat blood.
Yeah, get Adam's podcast. They got good, strong teeth.
I will.
That is the one. I knew it was you. I knew it. I knew it was the good teeth one, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, good, strong teeth.
I knew it.
Listen.
Like, only fucking Dave.
Gamefully, patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. That's the final plug. That's it. Are we done?
Ho, ho, ho.